Watch out, skinny dippers. We've got a slasher on the loose as Malevolent Movies presents The Fight for Summer Fright continues. Gastronaut Camp is whipping up a bountiful breakfast that will fill you up until you burst. So pick up a bottle of your favorite syrup, grab a seat in the mess hall, and put on your Malevolent Movies bib because it's time to dig into the 2015 film Lumberjack Man.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Malevolent Movies, the podcast, episode number 24, as we continue the fight for Summer Fright. Movie number 6 of this 9-movie juggernaut that we've embarked on this summer, and we're wrapping up the month of July Slaughterfest, with the movie selection from Camp Gastronaut, which is Nick and Joe. The movie is Lumberjack Man. Fellas, what do you have to say about this choice?
Before we say anything about that, what do you guys say about this?
Oh, no. Oh, God, I don't like it.
What? Am I missing?
It's in the chat. It's a Jodo shot.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, Joe's loving this. Well, I should let me rephrase. There's a part of this image I don't know.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Raven Rocket, one of the stars
I got a rocket for
of Lumberjack Man.
Yeah, she was either Courtney or Kendra. I couldn't remember. She's one of the two. Kendra, okay.
Kendra. You had to use IMDb quite a bit to get through my part.
This movie's got a lot of characters, but not a lot of characterization, so it was hard to remember the names. Just a lot of there's a big body count in Lumberjack Man.
I think every single one of you guys would fuck me, her. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Meter.
I don't know if we've explained enough what the image was.
Oh, yeah, the images of the actress, Raven Rocket. There's several actresses in this film that are from the world of pornography. I don't know why I'm stuttering to get through that, but and so this is a topless image of her, and I put Joe's face on it.
Should we send this to her?
I think so. Yeah, I
Should
think
we
so.
send this to her
In
management?
today's day and age, is sending? I mean, I guess it's a picture of her naked to herself, but is that? I mean, is
It's
that
to
how
show
we want to
her
make our
what-
mark?
I mean, Joe's Twitter's
it's
on it, so it's inappropriate either way.
No, it's it's us as fans giving a tribute to her. I think that's acceptable.
I don't know. I don't want to die on that sword.
Okay.
I don't want to die on that body.
Look at what you made me do. I'm you now.
Okay, so Nick and Joe represent Gastronaut Camp. And you guys, for July, you had to find a slasher film. It's all summer related, so it had to be summer or spring break. But you had to find a slasher film with where the killer was the slasher. My apologies. The killer is a slasher, and their iconic element was that they had to have a calling card.
Oh yeah, and I think we nailed it. All right,
we nailed it I nailed myself.
Yeah, I would say so, and I was very pleasantly surprised with how well it was done, because there aren't a lot of slasher movies where there's a calling card situation. A lot of murder mysteries have that, but straight slashers, they don't normally have this. And this movie did. And it had a very strange, weird Malevolent Movies style calling card, which I appreciated.
Yeah. I can't think of too many. I guess maybe My Bloody Valentine is one off the top of my head. But other than that, I can't really think of much.
But it's never consistent is the thing.
Yeah.
They might leave one calling card or two, but it's not a consistent thing. And this one was fairly consistent with the calling card.
Oh, yeah. He's always having pancakes.
I'll be honest, I think that we're proving we've had a lot of weird specific parameters for these movies, and everybody keeps kind of hitting it out of the park. Zach's Insecticidal, The Lucky Stiff. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't know. Maybe every movie has already been made.
I mean, we'll find out.
We're done here, boys.
We did it. We watched every movie.
How many movies did you guys go through to find this? Was it a real hard hunt?
We put a lot of effort into this.
Yeah, let me see what else.
I'm pulling up there a little. Okay.
Nick was slaving away.
Joe, do not read the first one. That is a private film for me.
Okay.
No, it's one that I want to share later with the guys. This is one I've been telling Ryan he'll hate.
Yeah.
Boy.
Joe, we'll talk later.
Let me see. We looked at one called Bee Sting, I believe.
I've watched that. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's
Bee Sting.
It's got a great cover,
basically,
but it's not a great movie.
Oh, The Greenskeeper. So it's like a golf-based killer.
That sounds familiar. The Greenskeeper.
Okay.
Was
Ryan,
there anybody in that?
2002,
You would probably like The Greenskeeper because it's from.
Ron Lester, Melissa Ponzio.
I watched
Yeah.
that years ago during a movie night, and that's one of my classics. So if we don't,
okay, 'cause it
if it
sounds
doesn't
familiar.
happen this summer, we need to do that.
Yeah, I'd
Soonish.
watch it.
What's this one right here that starts with a G, Joe?
No mercy, mercy.
Oh, that's not the one with Mini-Me, Vern Troyer, is it? That's No Malone.
Yeah, no, this doesn't have Mini-Me in
That
it.
one keeps coming across my radar. It keeps popping up in every search I do. It's like the universe wants me to watch a No Malone. I'm fighting it.
No, this is different. This is a prestigious film that has a 3.3 on IMDb. Oh, Terror at Blood Fart Lake. That's a scary
I saw that
one.
I saw that in the Plex. Thank God that one didn't come up. I saw that and I was unhappy.
Yeah, we got a bunch of winners in the Camp 2 Hands Plex. Welcome to Plex Chat, everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Lumberjack Man from 2015, directed by Josh Bear and starring Mr. Blonde himself, Michael Madsen, in a rare comedic role.
Yes.
I'm stuck in the middle with him, let me tell you.
And I'm here for it. I've never enjoyed watching Joe Gage himself. Yuck
Joe
it up
Gage.
a little bit. Joe Gage and going to see Mother for Christmas.
And there's the thing, it's like
That's the same year. That's also 2015.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. It's like one of the things I just always loved about showbiz and is the unpredictability of it all. And the year 2015, not only did Michael Madsen star in Lumberjack Man, but he also was in fucking Hateful Eight. I mean, so you never know the twists and the turns that the entertainment industry provideth. I love it.
Quentin and I can't come back for reshoots. I'm at Lumberjack Man.
And he's the only star in this movie. I didn't recognize or I haven't seen anybody else that pops up in Lumberjack.
I recognize
there is one individual.
I recognize one other person, the
Adam
camp counselor. Yep, Sessler himself from G4 TV. I don't expect Ryan would know who he is.
No, I've never seen the guy.
But yeah,
I've never seen him.
He was the first one where I went, oh boy, who else is going to be in this fucking thing? Because I knew Madsen was. And then I don't have anything bad to say about Adam Sessler. He's a rambunctious, old man now, I guess.
He's an epic cool gamer.
He's a reasonably funny guy.
Yeah, like he's done some good things. He just had some good goofs on Attack of the Show or whatever he hosted. I think it was Attack of the Show.
It was X-Play.
Or X-Play, that's right. I'm sorry, Kevin did Attack of the Show. That's right. It's been a while, but that kind of made me feel a little uneasy when I saw that he was going to be as big of a character.
Yeah, it was a bit weird, but
I ended up liking it.
I ended up liking the way he moved, like his running.
Yes,
that went down good.
Very, very. I was going to say crackly, but that's not the right word.
I heard that originally he was going to do this whole role in a Master Chief outfit, but they were able to talk him out of that.
That's not a thing.
No? Okay.
No.
It's IMDb.
You see, Ryan, the Master Chief is a protagonist from a video game series called Halo that came out in like 1998 or 9 or something.
Oh, okay. Well, if Halo could ever be made in the movie, the rest of America.
Well, you see, Ryan, now that you said that, Peter Jackson actually tried to get that off the ground with Neil Blomkamp.
Oh,
and he ended up making District 9 after that fell through.
Yeah.
You see, Joe, did you know all that, Joe?
That's why when I read Halo, I'm happy that it wasn't made.
We broke Ryan.
Yeah, no kidding.
Hey, Joe, have you seen District 9?
I have seen
Ryan,
District
you're like
9, yes.
30 seconds behind us.
Did you hear what I said about Joe's?
It's happening right now.
Ryan's been drinking
Hear what I said.
So we open the film in a dilapidated cabin full of cobwebs and stray leaves. Our unseen slasher is picking out his tools of the trade and sharpening them. He picks up some jars, which surprisingly aren't filled with his loads, and starts mixing together really sloppy-looking batter.
Oh,
God damn it.
What? It's just a little funny goof in there.
It's not. Did you respect the comment that said stop it with the shock humor?
No, I don't believe in that guy.
Yeah, shout out to whatever that guy's name was. I forget. I'm sorry, man.
Loadmaster 9000.
Yeah.
Sex liker 420.
Sex liker.
That
Tone it
dude
down a bit, bro.
loves sex.
Ooh.
So he starts making his pancakes with the same care as the average McDonald's worker on a griddle that has mealworms on it.
Why are you taking it out on the McDonald's? You know what? Like Ryan, I'm not going to engage.
McDonald's has been so good to you.
Yeah, McDonald's has kept you alive,
Like a mother.
dude.
What are you saying about McDonald's, Joe?
He's talking shit.
He's taking sheep shots at him.
Yeah, Joe started his part, and it's been nothing but load jokes and taking pot shots at poor minimum wage workers. Classic Buck.
Elitist.
We're like 20 seconds into the movie.
I do want to say this, Joe. When we're reviewing a movie that is mostly comedy, you don't need to do the jokes. The joke is what happens in the movie. Explaining what happens in the movie is the comedy.
I understand. I just like to put in a couple little things.
God, I bet sitting next to you at a comedy club is a real joy.
It is. Yeah. You get to listen to two comedians.
See, it would have been funny if he said, I wanted to fucking drop a load.
See, when I walk into a bar, I say this.
My face isn't that long.
Oh, boy.
Anyway, Joe, continue. Sorry.
Okay. So the pancakes vaguely resemble a pair of breasts.
Vaguely.
Yeah. And that's when we cut to.
Yeah, them pancakes vaguely.
Resemble a breast.
Oh, yeah.
How high, Ridge? I could not tell. That's a deep cut right there, guys.
That's a good cut.
Yeah, you don't get the joke.
No, I don't understand that. That's okay. So we cut to a pair of guys ogling some real ones. We find out that we're on our way to church camp, and Face Tatas are riling up the boys and upsetting the girls. Danielle tries to get her to cover up. She turns her down, and they have a Proverbs fight.
Wait. Do you have these characters mixed up?
I believe Faith is the one with the large breasts.
Faith is the main girl.
Yeah.
Yes,
He's
yes.
correct.
Okay, I get it.
Also,
with the big suckable.
Oh, fuck off. That's it. I'm bleeping that. I'm bleeping that.
Damn it, Joe. Damn it.
Use the
Don't laugh,
ray gun.
Ryan.
I'm trying
Use
not
like
to.
the ray gun sound effects.
Yeah.
I love those.
But did you? Because I was kind of tuning out because I was trying to reach my Diet Coke. Did you reference before the Proverbs fight that it's a church camp?
I did. Oh, yeah.
Did you? Okay, I just didn't hear it.
Jeff and Stanley are basically trying to gather up the courage to go talk to her. And he says that he's tired of being the other one's wingman. They
Is that his
accidentally.
name?
I believe it's
Yeah,
Jeff and
it's-
I
Stanley.
was just calling him
He-
Bill and Ted the whole time.
His name is Stanley Kellenberger.
Okay, because it was
Oh.
Kellenberger in the credits, and I couldn't remember if he
Yeah.
had a first name or not. Okay.
Oh, weird.
We find out his name is Stanley when they get off the bus, and Doug, the camp director, yells at him. And then so I was like, okay, that's easy for me to write than Kellenberger. So I wrote
Did
down
anybody
Stanley.
else have the same feeling that Jeff is like, I've seen that guy before, but I looked at his credits. I have not seen that guy before. He looks like Frankie Muniz's like high cousin.
Yes.
He looks like Mark. Like if you would have told me that was Mark Ruffalo's nephew, I'd have believed it. I'd be like, oh yeah, I see it there. He's got the dimples, he's got the wide nose, he's got the curly hair, and I thought he was okay in the movie. I didn't dislike. I kind of like the kid. I thought he was all right. Not the character,
I
but
like
I like
the
the
kid. He's
performance.
probably 48. I like the kid.
Yeah. I think that boy's all right.
Anyway,
Wait, hold on. Wait. Sorry.
yay!
Yeah, thank you. So they accidentally say ass too loud on the church bus, and they have to make up a proverb for it. Doug, the camp director, explains that if the counselors...
Dude.
That's his name. He explains that if the counselors are caught being nice, they'll get a marble in a jar. But if they get caught fucking, sucking, or getting high, a marble will be taken away. With a pizza party on the line, the campers are sure to act their best.
Hey, pizza goes a long way, Bugley.
It
It
does.
does, yeah.
You ever earned a pizza, Joe, in your life?
Yeah, a ton of different times.
He gets charity. He gets charity pizza.
Yeah.
No.
Did they book it, Joe? When was Pizza Hut still doing that? By the time you get to
Ooh, yeah.
elementary school, or was that?
I
out?
did, and I read so many books, I got a pizza every time.
And then once they stopped offering Joe free pizza, he quit
I
reading.
never read
completely.
again, yep.
And then the Pizza Hut closed.
Well, Buckley wasn't there. He wasn't there to get some more
He had
stuff.
to redeem the coupons.
Yeah, I get it.
Redeem.
So Michael Madsen gets flashed.
Who's this? Who's this again?
Michael Madsen.
Michael Maxton.
Very good. What's he drive up?
Mr. Maxon, can I get your autograph?
Yeah.
Joe, what kind of car is Michael Madsen driving in this picture?
I don't know, cars.
Yeah, probably like a Mercedes or something, or like a Vespa.
Joe,
No.
there's a whole bit. I'll take over from this part. So we see a lonely country road, and this god awful, ridiculous looking smart car, neon green smart car pulls up,
Oh, that's right.
and Michael Madsen walks out, and that made me laugh so fucking hard to just see him climb out of that thing, and then there's no mention of it for like 90 minutes until a joke later. That
It's
hit
like a little
me.
tiny car.
That hit me into space. It was incredible. That's all. Joe, you're back in. I'm giving it back to you. Floor is yours.
So basically, Michael Madsen gets flashed by some girls on the bus and snaps a quick pic. He learns from a store owner that the bus is headed to Big Timber State Park. Madsen buys up all the ammo he can fit in his hands and a box of pancake batter. The store owner says them are good eatin', but Madsen snaps back that he don't know nothing about breakfast.
No, Joe, I'm going to stop you right there because this is a specific reference and joke. He says, you don't know what breakfast is, which is from Halloween 2 at the very beginning when Dr. Loomis, tells the neighbor after he shoots now I want to say Michael Maxon, and he shoots Michael Myers. I shot him in the heart. I shot him 6 times. And the neighbor goes, is this a joke? I've been trick or treated to death tonight. And Donald Pleasance goes, you don't know what death is. And then This is setting up that Michael Madsen is a Loomis character.
Okay. I didn't connect the pancake batter to the Halloween quote. I'm sorry.
Joe's never watched Halloween 2.
But yeah, well, that's what I mean. It's like I got it right away, and then the joke is brought back again 2 more times throughout the movie. So, but it's specifically how it's said. You don't know what blank is because it's a direct reference to Halloween.
I did not recognize it was a quote.
I don't gotta watch Halloween 2 because John Carpenter didn't want to do it, and they did it anyways. And
even though he wrote the fucking thing.
Are you going to see Halloween Kills?
Music.
Huh?
Are you going to see Halloween Kills?
Probably not.
What?
No.
Joe doesn't like sequels. Remember, he doesn't like sequels. No matter how good they can be.
Did you see Halloween 2018?
I saw about 20 minutes of it in the theater with Sean.
Yeah, because remember, Sean, it was your fault, Joe, that they went and watched the end.
Absolutely not.
It was not my fault
for
Sean.
Anyway, all right. Listen, we'll talk about that on the Hunt for Holiday Horror, or whatever the fuck it's called. Halloween. Yes. Oh, God. Our stupid names.
The Hunt for Hollywood Horror.
Hollywood Horror. That's right. Hollywood Horror Nights, folks. All right, Joe. Let's get back to it.
So, they arrive at the camp, and the bus driver screams at them to get the fuck off his bus.
He's having like an aneurysm.
Yeah. Leon. Was that his name? Leon?
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. He's not really in this too much.
No, he's in mine quite a bit, is Leon.
Yeah. Doug reminds him to make sure he's back on time. They don't want a repeat of when the driver left the kids in the casino for 12 hours.
Nope.
Doug and then the other kind of counselor, Teresa, dole out cleaning tasks. And Jeff and Stanley are assigned picking up horseshit. They have a huge bag of weed and offer to share it with Faith, but she turns them down.
Joe, was that some of that good kush?
I don't believe so. That looks like scraggly, like Sasquatch weed, not some of the good stuff.
We will
not some of the purple rainbow.
We will learn the exact kind of strain, even that this kind of weed is in my section.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't think it's real,
my
but
section's
still.
over.
That's it.
Yeah.
They get you to 16 minutes. Good Lord. All right. Well, hey, I'm next. Speaking of me.
Well, Joe watches and writes in real time, so he misses a lot.
That's true.
No.
So are you sure? Because there's this whole scene where they're all the campers are there. Doug, Adam Sessler, and Teresa are there. Excuse me, kind of welcoming everyone. We get to know the chef. I don't remember his name. It was
Reggie.
Reggie, the chef. And he's gonna cook up some stuff. This is where the marble thing is explained, I think, again, or reiterated at the very least. Anyway, yada, yada, yada. The teens are going to their stuff. Now starts my section. And we go back to catch up with our good buddy Leon, the cokehead bus driver. He's rocking out. He's having a good time blasting the tunes in the bus as he's driving down the road. He takes out a little baggie of Coke, sprinkles it on the steering wheel of the bus as he's driving, gets it all up. And it sounds like he's listening to like a Limp Bizkit, like a royalty-free Limp Bizkit track or something.
And I felt like I knew the song. I didn't look it up, but it felt it either they did a really good ripoff of something that exists and it made me, but it felt like something I've heard before.
Also,
but it's that terrible like Trapped band.
It's like a knockoff new metal.
Yeah.
When
the Buckley hits the floor, when the Buckley hits the floor.
The music also in the opening credits, the music is accredited to Chainsaw.
Ooh.
And that's it.
Slasher Dave.
Yeah, I felt like a cousin of Slasher Dave. But anyway, Leon's all coked up and he's ripping down the road and he picks up two professionals, wink wink, who are just kind of hanging out on the side of the road. And we learn that he actually dropped them off earlier in the day, went and picked up the kids for camp, took them to camp, and are now going back to pick up these two pros. So he picks up these gals and he says, hey, I just dropped off my load. Want to help me drop another?
Hey, Joe, what'd you think about that?
Yeah,
what'd you think about that line?
I think that cum humor is a little bit overrated. I don't do too much of it myself.
Dude,
so.
Okay, fuck off.
What did you
what's
actually
actually
think of that? You listen to, Joe? What's that one again?
Town. I listen to a
exactly.
cum-based podcast.
Come
a
to
whole
town.
community created
yeah,
based
the
on
cum
this.
boys.
Yeah,
Okay,
whatever.
What did you actually think of the joke, though?
Did you laugh?
No, I didn't chuckle. I mean, it was
So then
fine,
why do you
but-
think we should?
Because that is a Joe joke.
That is a Joe joke.
Yeah.
That sounded like you. That's why I'm like, oh, I laughed to myself. And I was like, oh, no wonder Joe picked this movie. There's characters doing Joe style humor. And then for you to sit here and be like, I didn't chuckle. You probably weren't listening.
It
Yeah.
just didn't land with me.
There's a lot of Joe humor in
I
this,
don't know
and there's a lot of
jokes.
Nick stuff in this too. Like this reeks of the both of them, and I mean that in both the best
From
and worst way.
Gastronaut Camp.
So
Yeah.
I was thinking about this. I think between this and Doll Factory, I think we
Yes.
can pretty clearly see what type of movie I get more enjoyment out of.
Yes,
Versus
100%.
like, I think we've all got our thing, but yeah,
Same.
It's a Nick movie.
Yeah, I get it. Listen, I'm looking for that Lucky Stiff too every day that I can. I'm trying to find that next Lucky Stiff because that goddamn, I love that movie. Anyway, oh god, there's a cum joke. Drop off my load, yada yada yada. They complain. The two ladies complained about being left there all day, which is understandable. But he says, Leon says he's hornier than a 3-balled tomcat, and he's got party favors, and he holds up his little bag of Coke. Cut to the girls are topless in the bus, and they are fake moaning and groaning, like, "Oh yeah, hell yeah, oh woo, yeah, do it to me," as they're like both on their phones. I assume he's fucking one and eating the other one out. You can bleep this if you need to. That's a little
one's on
crass.
his face and one's on his genitalia.
Yeah, I was like,
coming out of your mouth, Trevor, it's scientific. Coming out of Joe,
Okay.
it's filth.
yeah, it feels more academic when I say it.
I will say this. I don't know if there's nudity in Joe's second part, but I'm thankful that the cutoff line was that close. If he didn't have to describe his
I
part.
almost got a fun section. Ooh.
Yeah, you get 4 very fuzzy boobs in your first section there, very blurry ones as they drive
Yeah,
by.
I was gonna say not fuzzy
The
in the
bus.
Buckley sense, but
No,
fuzzy
no.
as in the photograph was out of focus.
Yes, blurry. I think would be a better term. Anyway, they're feigning interest. They're here to make a buck and get high on their phones the whole time. It's fine. But then we see outside of the bus, there's a spooky figure that walks into frame. A big tall guy, and he's pulling a chain behind him. And as he keeps walking, we see that chain is connected to a cart, and on that cart is a stack of giant pancakes.
Giant.
Yeah.
And that's when the Nick portion really starts showing its teeth.
What you got there, Nick? What you munching on?
Yeah, what do you got? That looks like
That's
sushi.
Chinese food?
He's got
This is-
chopsticks, ladies and gentlemen.
This
Well,
is
gentlemen, I couldn't.
pork katsu that the wonderful Sarah has prepared.
Oh,
We've started doing a lot more
home cooking.
Asian inspired dishes.
Hell yeah.
I was hoping it was a deconstructed pancake.
If you've never had it, anything katsu is basically just a piece of something fried and delicious. It's basically a pork chop. It's great.
Yeah,
Alright.
it's amazing.
Joe, you jealous?
Yeah, I am.
I'm jealous. Yeah.
I'd love a pork katsu or chicken katsu. Really, anything.
Chicken katsu is pretty good too.
Bash does a good chicken katsu. Anyway,
Mm-hmm.
we can cut this out. Back to the feature film. Christ, now I'm really hungry. So he, Spooky Man, who we don't know yet, has approached the back of the bus. He opens up that back of the bus and gets into the bus. And one of the girls, eventually at the last minute, recognizes that, hey, there's a spooky man here. But before she can do anything, he swings his sword or blade, whatever the fuck he has, and cuts both of their heads off in one swoop, and they both fly out the windows.
Yeah, opposite sides of the bus.
And it was beautiful. We get a shot of them flopping around with no heads, feeling like the end of whatever the fuck we just watched, Skin Deep. But with two ladies topless, all oiled up. Yeah, CG blood was kind of
disappointing.
Yeah.
not great.
After such a cool practical effect, I understand. They probably rented that bus and
Yeah,
splatter blood
You
everywhere.
get it messy. You bought it.
that's right. It's understandable. Leon obviously has noticed what's happening now. He says, God damn, as he realizes what's happening. He stands up and
he's on the ground underneath the
Underneath
legs
one
of
of
one of
them.
the girls.
yeah, they went limp.
It's hilarious.
So he climbs out from underneath her, says, God damn, looking around. And the killer gets him with his knife and stabs him like through the chin up to the top of the bus, like to the roof of the bus, and he's like stuck there. And then we get a shot of outside. The pancakes have blood dripping on them.
Yeah.
Their sweet sticky blood spreading all over the pancakes.
And there's a little goof here on they do a close up of his legs. He's in blood coming, and his boxer shorts have the production company logo on them.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah. Oh, the reason I remembered it is because the production company logo was so over the top at the beginning. It's like
We didn't talk about that either.
High five, and I thought that was funny. But it's, the guy's boxer shorts has got the logo of the production company.
Oh my Lord! Now, and then we go back to and also Leon screamed at that point. I thought he was dead, but he screams again.
That was weird.
Who knows? But now we're back at the camp, and what's the main girl's name? Faith.
Faith.
Faith is staring at like some shit in the tennis court, like dog shit in the tennis court. And her friend comes over. I don't know what her friend's name is, but Jacqueline. Jacqueline is like she's there because it's church camp. Like she's a church girl. Jacqueline comes over and starts talking about some like biblical play they had done. She's listing off a bunch of Atticus, Abednego, all kinds of unpronounceable Bible names. But we see like a POV shot, a creeper shot through the bushes, real Buckley shot of somebody's watching them. We get a few more POV shots as they keep talking about some nonsense they did last year at church camp. But Faith clocks this and goes over to check it out, and it turns out it's a horny old Joe Buckley type peeking away. His name's Ernie. He looks like if me and Nick were somehow like fused into one fat little boy. This little fat boy's name is Ernie. And he says he was just bird watching, but he's got a sketchbook. Oh no, Tyler's running to he's got a treat. He's got a blue can. He's out of breath. Tyler, what is it? What's happened upstairs?
Did you get the pork? Did you get some pork too?
Did you have to fight Lisa for your salami?
Oh,
Lisa's dead.
I need to fight her for the salami.
I took tiny pancakes out of her flesh and I got it.
Well,
Sorry,
good news
I didn't
is-
want to miss. I was laughing so much before I left. I didn't want to miss it.
Well, good news. We didn't get very far. We started talking about Mighty Ducks and Sandlot, and it's great.
Oh wow, I can't wait to listen back when I edit.
It'll be interesting. Ernie, he says he's bird watching, but he's got a sketchbook filled with some real horny doodles of the girls with gigantic boobs. They chastise him and they keep his book. Say, you're not getting this back, you horny little freak. And he runs away. He says to go clean the wood shop.
So is this horny chubby number 2 or number 3?
Oh boy,
cheerleader camp.
Oh, you're talking about the whole thing. Oh yeah, so there's cheerleader camp. There's
like the
big boy.
I feel like there was another movie that had like a big guy that was peeping and creeping.
Not in the summer series.
Aquanoids, we had the peep in at the beginning, but we know he wasn't a big guy. He was the dad,
right.
remember? But the movie opened with some peeping. So
just
we
take
got
a little
peeping.
peep.
A little summertime peep. It's fine.
Yeah.
Listen, it's fine.
It's like a little Easter treat. Those like little covered marshmallows with the sugar.
For any horny young teens watching, that is not fine.
Don't do it.
Please do not do that. This is a comedy show. Anyway, he's got a sketchbook filled with horny doodles going to clean the wood shop. I don't know if that's a metaphor or if that's his job. Oh, meanwhile, in the woods, Bill and Ted are rolling a big old doob. He says, it's a lot of weed for a beautiful day in the woods with my best buddy. And that was sweet.
That's beautiful.
I wrote down, hey, maybe these boys ain't so bad. They talk about how Ted is going to hook up with Faith. They make a Chicago Bulls reference that I think I kind of understood.
93 Bulls. He's like, look at the 93 Bulls. Because Jeff keeps trying to tell Stanley, to do his own thing. Stanley keeps wanting Jeff to talk to these women for him, be his wingman. He's like, no, you got to do your own. And then he says he's the 93 Bulls, and and they just reference some lesser players. I wish Sean would have been on this section, because Sean, major bull, he would have been able to explain the nuances of the joke a little bit more. But
I was going to say, I appreciate the 93 Bulls reference.
I appreciate that, because
I was like, listen, I know all these names.
Yeah, that was when I would have been watching it. I would have been 93 Bulls. I was when I graduated 8th grade, and it was a big deal. 3-peat. Hey, Joe, what sport was it? What sport did the Chicago Bulls play?
It's basketball. I know that.
Brisket ball.
Right.
Brisket ball.
Nick and I are trying to break into brisket ball right now.
Yeah, it's
maybe,
hard.
Maybe
it's
next
hard.
season. Yeah.
I like whenever the Globetrotters tie up their opponent's shoelaces. That's the only part I like.
Yeah, throw buckets of confetti on them.
Just another little Nicky reference. Good job, Joe.
Yep. So anyway,
I have not seen Little Nicky in decades.
Yeah.
You ain't seen Little Buckley either.
That's because that's not a movie. That's a penis. I have seen my penis.
All right. So anyway, Bill and Ted are interrupted by a farmer whose name I don't think they ever say, or if they did, I completely missed it.
Doesn't matter.
But he's a farmer. He works at the camp. Who cares? He's basically catching them. Hey, come on, you got to do your job, which, as Joe accurately reported earlier, was literally to shovel up the horse shit.
Yeah.
So he makes them shovel their horse shit while he smokes what he calls some pussy ass weed. But meanwhile, he's hacking up a lung and he's really getting his ass kicked in by this weed. And Bill or Ted says, that's some Amsterdam albino rhino he's smoking. By the time he's done smoking that thing, he'll be cruising at 8 miles high, bro. So this scene gets a little experimental. So just buckle up. Bear with me.
This is where it turns into a cartoon officially.
And this is where I realize that this may be my favorite movie we've watched on this show. So the farmer gets so high that he is so focused on the butt magazine he's reading. We see a weird, there's a weird smoky filter over the screen for a few seconds. And Bill and Ted stack up all the horse shit they've been shoveling into life-size mannequins of themselves that they then dress up like themselves to fool the high farmer while they slip out the back.
Yeah. And it works.
And it works. And I laughed, and it convinces him. The mannequins, I hate to say it, look kind of good. They look
perfect.
I'm sure they just slapped some shit. Nick, how do you think they did this?
Oh, absolutely. Just purchased some mannequins and covered them in shit.
Just real shit. Yeah.
It's definitely a Bugs Bunny moment.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
because it's you don't see it coming. Like there's plenty
Oh.
of gags and like lowbrow humor, but that was out of left field. Like I had to sit there for about 15 seconds before I could laugh because I'm like,
Like I
did that
didn't
just
believe
happen?
it.
Yeah.
I truly did not believe that's what they did.
Yeah.
I would have
I
liked
thought
it if they.
I thought that was the guy was hallucinating. Because of the way they show his point of view through the haze and everything.
Yep.
I thought that the weed was so strong and that he's surrounded by shit that that this is what the guy was seeing. He was seeing the two counselors made of shit. But no,
Yeah.
it's literal. They did build.
Yeah, they
build
did it
shit.
because the next shot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're running around with their shirts off.
I was gonna say shirtless. They head into the woods to form a plan to score.
Yeah, I would have
Um,
liked it if like they had painted a door like on the side of the barn and tricked him into running through it. That would have been
I
fun.
would have been fine with that.
That would have been good. The farmer, however, is high as a Georgia pine, talking to a photo of his beloved. I think her name was Carmencita, or he calls
Yes.
her.
Carmencita.
She's like an ex. I don't know if she died. I don't know.
It does not matter.
It,
Well, he-
it doesn't matter.
He's got
But
a framed picture of her.
Yeah, he's talking to a framed picture of her, and he's like, oh, please, I wish you'd come back or something. He gives her, he's like, here, a little bit for you, and he like puts the joint like on her photo, like, don't tell anybody. I'm like, oh boy, okay. And he kisses the photo, while in the background of this, we see a dark figure, big dark spooky figure enter the frame. He like notices this. I don't know if he hears it or he just gets the feeling. He notices that someone's behind him. So he stands up real quick, and when he sees it, he sees Carmencita. He sees his, I assume, long lost love, and he can't believe it. He reaches out for her, or she reaches out for him, and he goes to her, and oh my God, I knew you'd be back, yada yada yada.
Mhm.
He hugs her, starts like smelling her hair, and then we cut out of it and see that he's actually just standing right by the Lumberjack Man, and he's like playing with his beard and like kissing his hair and stuff. It was pretty good. And we get a good shot of Lumberjack Man. He's got like his mask looks like it's made of like bark. Yeah, with like glowing red eyes. It's pretty cool. And then Lumberjack Man rips his head out of his body like the fucking Predator.
Yep,
Like
yep.
it was great. He
Spine
rips the
fall.
whole thing out. You get the spine. Yep, you get the whole
Sub
spine.
Zero style.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Sub-Zero
yes, yes. Then we go back to Bill and Ted's Radical Pussy Hunt. When they stumble on a cabin, they're like running, and they just go, oh man, I'm tired of running. All right, well anyway, let's just keep walking. Okay, that's a way to start a scene, I guess. And they come up on a cabin and are trying to decide who is going to go for which of the girls. You want the blonde? You want the brunette? Oh, by the way, we're at a cabin. It's weird. They decide to go peep inside because there's like an open window, and they see. At the time I wrote this, I didn't realize that it was Teresa, the other like camp counselor. I
Doug-
couldn't remember her
sister.
name.
Oh yeah.
Because
Yeah,
I
guess it
watched
is.
this. I watched this a few days ago, just front to back, just like I'm just gonna watch it because we didn't have the breakdown because it had a pretty tight turnaround. So I just watched just my little slice last night, and I couldn't remember who the fuck she was. But yeah, Teresa, the camp counselor, is in there, and she is getting undressed. She like takes off her shirt, and she's in her bra and like her shorts, and they're getting real horned up. They're ooh, and she walks into the other room. They go, oh man, and they're bitching about, oh,
I
it's all your
can't see her
fault.
boobies no more.
I mean, basically, yeah, a couple of Joe. Might as well be Joe and Tad outside Tyler's house trying to get a peep at his boobs.
Yeah.
His hairy
I
cheeks.
think I saw her ass whenever she turned around. Yeah,
Except
yeah.
I would know they'd be there because the room would be filling with flies, and I'd be like, "What the fuck is going on?"
Yeah, you've
It's like at The Exorcist.
Well, the Joe and Tad, I've always said, are the Pied Piper of flies. Where they go, where their asses go, flies follow.
flies are never
Because
too
they're-
far behind.
Their butt cheeks rubbing together and make a little whistling sound that the fly is like.
That's why Joe's always trying to reference Brundlefly.
It's just because I like David Cronenberg. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Anyway, they're pissed. But before they can get pissed for too long, she comes back, and it's a full-on like late 80s softcore scene practically.
Mm.
We get the music kicks in real loud. She's in like a red like slip or like a red robe, silk robe, satin robe or something. She strips down to her underwear, her panties, and very haphazardly shoots a bunch of lotion off this giant lotion bottle all over her chest. She's rubbing it, her stomach, her legs. The boys were going wild for
Yeah.
it.
Oh yeah.
And
Real oily.
she eventually lays down on the couch and she's like rubbing it all into her into her legs. And she grabs the bottle and unscrews the top and just dumps the whole thing like disgusting fucking sounds on there. And she's rubbing it. And this might be the hardest I laughed at anything we've watched. Like, I don't know what it was about this movie. It just hit so every single joke landed for me.
So there are several moments of nudity throughout this film, and they are almost eloquently shot. Like they do these tracking shots. The lighting in this, I'm watching it right now. The lighting of her with her legs up in the couch. It's like, it's beautiful. Like, and I think that it's intentional. At least for this scene, it's definitely for the sake of the humor. But it's
And the jokes just land so well. It's so funny. The sound is funny, like the farty sound she puts on there, because that's the only silly thing, like overtly silly thing they added in. That's great. And about this time, what's his Adam Sessler? Doug, the counselor up here, was like, "What are you boys doing? What do you? Oh, you got to get back to your job." Blah blah blah. He says, "What are they doing?" And they say, "Oh, we're fixing the window." And he, "Why aren't you back at the stables? That's your real job." Burp, burp, burp. They run off, head back to the actual stables, and he says, as they're running away, he says, "I'm going to take 5 marbles out of the jar." Was it pizza party?
The pizza party.
Yeah.
Right.
Pizza party on the line.
That's right. Hey boys, what's better, boobs or a pizza party?
Oh, I know.
Yeah, pizza party.
Pizza boobs.
Yeah.
Take your shirt off, Pizza the Hut. Let me see it.
Pepperoni nipples.
Doug is like, "What the heck are they looking at?" and looks in the window, and of course, immediately is spotted by Teresa. These two boys,
classic bit.
These two boys were in full view. Anybody walking into that room she was in would have seen them. But of course, he spotted immediately. Comedy. They go, "Ah!" They both scream. It's funny.
Mm-hmm.
Now we go back to, we go to a sheriff's station and are introduced to Shep, who is this town's like Paul Blart stand-in. And he's playing one of those like little water puzzle games you get at like the dentist's office.
Frustrating.
And he is laser focused into this thing. And we see that the sheriff is Luann Potts, and she is looking over some maps when Michael Madsen walks in and warns, says, "Hey, now you gotta evacuate the woods here immediately." And she asks for a real good reason, to which he says that them woods are haunted and they can choose to help him or not. She is basically not hearing it. She's heard everything, every piece of shit claim that we've heard. It's Bigfoot, we've heard aliens, Loch Ness monster. None of it's real. I need a real reason. If there is a reason, if we are in danger, what is it? Is it something real or is it horse shit? Is the gist. And he says that he can't divulge all of his details, but she can take his word as a gentleman that they are in danger. She's still not having it. Says they got 2 missing hikers. They've got more important things to deal with. It's no big deal. And Madsen dumps out a bunch of photos for proof, for like news clippings and stuff.
Well, he's got like a manila envelope with them, and he's goes to like shake them out, but he drops the manila envelope. And it's like, I mean, it's not like the worst blunder, but it's like,
no,
you couldn't do another take of that. But like,
nah.
I feel like Mike was just having a blast doing this movie. He's like, I don't gotta give a shit. They paid me $50,000. I'm gonna have a ball doing this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I agree. And the vibe I kept getting throughout the movie, not only is Michael Madsen happy to be playing comedy, because he rarely gets to play comedic or nice guys. He's always an intense type of character, but it's partly the script. It's also partly Michael Madsen himself, but it's very cringy to watch him, but I mean that in a positive way. It reminds me of like everybody's, dad when they've had 1 or 2 beers and they're starting to cut loose in a way you're not used to seeing, and they're telling jokes and the jokes don't work. It's like, because your dad's not funny, but it's your dad. So
but maybe he'll land one. Maybe that 3rd beer, he'll get a real knee slapper in and it's all worth it.
And I just enjoyed watching Michael Madsen having a good time, even if it wasn't always funny. And sometimes I'm like, eesh. It was just nice to see him having a good time on this movie.
It's nice. So they're going through all this stuff, and Shep, the kind of the goofy Joe Buckley type cop.
We've had multiple Joe Buckley types. We called the pervert kid.
I mean this in an endearing way. This Shep is not, as far as I remember, a piece of shit. He's just a lovable goof.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
A
he's
real,
a nice
a real
guy.
Joe Buckley type. Smart, handsome, responsible, funny.
Always having
Meatloaf
sex.
recipes.
Always
Yeah.
fucking. Yeah, he gets all excited about a French onion soup mix
Fuck
or French onion soup recipe. But there's also an article on that saying on the other side of it that says that there's a mass murder every 30 years in this town, which name I can't remember.
Timber
Yes.
something
Timber.
or other.
Timber
Yeah.
Falls or something.
Yeah, their
On this-
badges say Timber State Park.
That's right. But yeah, mass murder every 30 years in this town on this Tuesday. This is like the Tuesday
Shrove
before Lent.
Yeah, Shrove. They call it Shrove Tuesday. It's the
Shrove
Tuesday before Lent.
That's right. And they're and then this delivery, this line that Madsen has is very funny. He says, "Don't ignore me and not evacuate those woods, or you're gonna have blood on you. Blood all over your hands, your face, and all over your shirt and everything." And then he turns Lou in and he says under his breath, "And you'll have your own blood on you too, probably." I'm doing it not
Do
doing
you
it
think
justice.
that
It's
he
so
was
fucking funny.
improvising some of this? I think he
I-
was improvising some of this.
I feel like that line is improvised.
I'll get to this later, but I feel like a lot of this was probably improvised.
Yeah.
Like the plot structure almost.
Oh
I kind of feel like.
Yeah.
So, like, I have one major critique. I'll get it out of the way. There are parts of this movie that drag on way too long, and it's not so much like you've beaten the bit to death with a club. It's like the editing. It's like they just left every frame in here, and that's especially true at the very, very end of the movie.
Oh,
like
definitely.
that fucking
Yeah.
disaster. But like there are moments where it's like at the beginning of my part we're about to hear, like we're like a scene's over, but they like let's just roll for a little bit longer. What do you guys got?
Yep.
Because
Yeah.
I can't tell if that whole recipe gag, can I get the recipe from you? Is like,
Dude, who knows?
I don't feel like that's in the script. I feel like
Yeah.
the chef actor's like, oh, me and Mike were thinking, Mr. Director, if you're okay with this, me and Mike, we're talking Mike Madsen. Hey, wait, it's coming out next year. I don't know. It's cute. It's really
I
cute.
get it. It's charming.
Yeah, the movie definitely has pacing issues. It has tone issues. I feel like sometimes it doesn't know what it is. But every scene is confident in whatever it thinks it is at that time.
Yes.
That's the thing is when it's time to kill, it's confident that it's a gory, scary movie. But when it's time to goof, it's confident that this is the funniest shit ever. And then when it's time to go really absurd, like the food fight later on and like the lotion where it's Naked Gun levels, it's confident in that. But then when you slap it all together and you watch it from beginning to end, you're like,
It's a delicious meal. Yes, perfect.
It's a lot of courses. There's a lot of courses. A lot of courses.
Yeah.
They just don't always mix the best.
No, I understand. Luann does. I'm almost done here. Luann, the sheriff, does not care about this. She is not intimidated by Madsen. She's not got time to bumble dick around with this shit. She says, and she threatens to arrest him if he doesn't leave. And he says, "All right, fine. I'll go, but I'll leave you with a warning. You're both gonna die." And that's it.
Yeah.
Off the
All
top.
right. My part. What's his actual name? Dr.
Shirtcliffe.
Yeah.
Dr. Shirtcliffe. Okay. I'm just going to call him Mike. So Mike walks outside.
Yeah.
He's followed quickly thereafter by Shep. Shep is awfully excited. He's got some information here. But first he's got to ask a very important question. And that is, can he keep the recipe, what was it, clam chowder or whatever it was from the
French
newspaper?
onion soup, I think.
Yeah, French onion soup. Mike, it looks like he's breaking character. He's like, yeah, you can, buddy. Yeah, you can. And so they celebrate their agreement, and then Shep tells them how to get to the camp. They do like what I again assume is a little improv banter, where Shep asks Mike, hey, we can get together. We can eat that meatloaf. And Mike very seriously takes his glasses off. He looks at him. He says, "You don't know what meatloaf is." Call back to earlier in the movie. Call back to Halloween 2. Shep
Get that,
looks.
Joe?
I understand that now. It was just I didn't understand that in the beginning. That's
I just
okay.
didn't understand it until someone explained it to me.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I didn't understand the reference before the reference. That didn't make sense. So cut that out, Tyler, so you don't embarrass yourself. Just put a fart sound right after Joe talks.
Always.
I was waiting for Joe to say something. Shep looks confused. He laughs to himself, and then he walks. And then for some reason, we get a shot of Mike, like half walking, half jogging to his car. You can hear people in the background. So it must have been the crew. Like, so I don't know what that is, but it's a weird goof. I can't understand what they're saying. And then you guys will have to correct me if I'm wrong, but we're cutting to our chubby curly hair guy, Ernie?
Ernie, yeah. He's
Okay.
the one with the glasses, and he's always peeping.
Okay, so we cut to Ernie. He's walking through the woods. He hears some sound over the way, but in one hand he's got a banana. You know, the peel's half on it. He's holding the peel, and he's got a jar of peanut butter in the other hand.
That's a good snack.
I don't. It might be. I've never had peanut butter and
healthy
banana.
snack.
I know peanut butter and apples is a good post-workout snack, but I don't think Ernie was
Write that down, Joe.
doing any miles.
Okay. Lean protein.
What's a good post lay down food, Joe?
Couple Baja Blasts, like a nice big slice of pizza, a couple nice big slices, doing a little weed edible, like a little vaping maybe.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
So anyways, Ernie's walking towards the sound. We get this shot of some branches. They part. You see the banana and the peanut butter. And lo and behold, we get the lovely Kendra and Courtney. They're standing there in the lake in their bathing suits. Ernie is ecstatic. We can see it on his face. Kendra, she's a brunette. She has what looks like a mullet extension in. Her hair's a mess. But maybe that's part of her character. She's kind of that sexy, messy girl. And she is talking with Courtney, trying to convince her that, hey, we should go skinny dipping. Because when two girls are alone, they just do that all the time. Although I feel like there is a very minor subplot of Kendra being into girls, because there's a scene later on where she enters a food fight and she has a completely different girl with her. That's not Courtney, even though the rest of the movie they're together. So I don't know if that's saying something, or if I'm just looking into it, or if the actress Courtney had already quit at that point and they just brought somebody else in for that insert shot. I don't know. But anyways, Courtney barely puts up a fight. She cites some Bible stuff, some Jesus stuff, and she's like, okay, very easily convinced that she goes skinny dipping. So we get special insert shots where the camera is dollying in on them. The lighting is perfect. The framing is perfect. The camera's not moving it or jiggling at all. It's just going straight in towards Kendra as she turns and takes her bikini top off. Same thing with Courtney. And oh boy, guys, Ernie, he is losing it. So after it dollies in on Courtney for the second time, the third and fourth breast, Ernie climaxes so hard that he squeezes the banana that it shoots up, and we get this top-down shot of the banana going pew towards the camera. It hovers for a second and then dips back down and lands right in the peanut butter.
Hey.
Okay, let's see. Okay, so the two girls decide to have a splash fight in this what looks like freezing cold lake.
They're shivering, yeah.
And was that how you noticed, Joe? It had nothing to do with them perking nipples?
Or could do, Joe, that it's the Tuesday before Lent, and that typically is a cold
Well, it's
time.
very holy, yeah. Women get really hard nipples during holy days. I remember reading something about that.
Yeah, I always trust what Joe knows about ladies' nipples.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember looking at my sister.
Anyway.
Okay, so they're having their little splash fight. Ernie's having a good time. And this was a little bit frustrating for me. There is clearly some post-production sound design going on in the background of this scene. It just sounds like a fucking mess. It sounds like a construction site. But apparently Ernie can't really hear it, and neither can the girls. But what you're supposed to be taking in is that, that sounds like somebody chopping down and sawing down a tree back there. Ernie eventually turns around just in time to see a tree timbering over. He turns to run, but as he's running, he hits a branch, he trips and he falls right into the path of the tree, and kaploosh! He is dead, and blood again splashes over this flapjack wagon and the pancakes themselves. So we're setting up a regular thing here. There's a lot of blood hitting these pancakes.
I'd call it a calling card.
Ooh.
Interesting.
So anyways, somehow the girls didn't see this. They didn't really hear this, but after the big splat, they're like, oh my gosh, what is happening here? And I think it's Kendra says, oh no, I think God must be angry with us. So they quickly grab their tops, put them on, and they take off.
Here, I'll suck the moisture off your nipples. So that way you're not cold.
Oh, for
I believe that
Christ's
was in.
sake, we already are done with the cold bit.
Okay,
We
I
talked
understand.
how it's cold. You were just waiting for Tyler to take a breath so you could interject that.
I wanted to get that joke in. I'm sorry.
It's not even a joke, Joe.
Where's that horn sound? No, there it is.
Okay.
Hold on a second. I'm gonna pull one out from the archives here that Joe absolutely deserves to get blasted with. I'll save it for when it's the right moment.
Oh, he's got another
Okay.
section, so we know.
Okay. But anyways, my apologies. Okay, so we get a quick shot of through the wheels of the wagon. We can see Nehemiah walking by, and he's dragging an axe. So he's going to do something with poor Ernie. Cut to Faith, Jacqueline, and Stacy. Faith being our kind of main girl. Jacqueline being the, oh my gosh, I love Jesus so much. I come to church camp for church camp. And Stacy, who no fucking idea why Stacy's there. She's got rich parents. They want her to be a good Christian girl. But Stacy is lamenting that no one has marijuana at camp. Jacqueline, again, being a perfectly pure, untarnished child of God, asks what a marijuana is. Jacqueline says Stacy should have a salad, one of God's good plants, but Stacy can't smoke salad, damn it. They go back and forth about what is important about being at church camp, resulting in Stacy saying, fuck the children. I believe this is Stacy. I hope I have the name right.
I think so.
But anyways,
It doesn't matter.
Faith steps in to stop them, but is plowed into by Jeff, who comes out of nowhere. He's shirtless. This is post weed, doo-doo, feces, mannequin situation.
This is post peep show.
Yeah, post peep show. What is it, Stanley?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So Stanley's not far behind, leading Jacqueline to assume that, in God's eyes, sodomy is a sin. The boys start going, yeah. Jeff, who's got, he kind of gets what's going on, and he's like, oh, we were digging a well, but at the same time, Stanley, who's a little bit behind the 8 ball, he says, oh, well, we were just wrestling. Oh, Jeff gives him that look. Oh, So anyways, Faith is like, well, we're going to go to the mess hall. So, it's this way.
Jeff is the short guy that looks like somebody we can't determine.
Yeah,
he kind of looks like BJ Novak a little bit.
Why can I not? Who's BJ Novak? I know
BJ
him.
Novak is in Inglourious
Rough.
Bastards. He's from The Office primarily.
Oh, yeah, I could see that.
If with a smaller forehead, but
Yeah.
but still.
There's a presence, and I don't know how to
It's
else.
something.
That guys like him, they have, and this guy hasn't. I don't know what else to. You haven't seen him before, but guys like it. He's got a vibe.
Got that it factor.
He's got that face.
Yeah, he's good. He's fine.
I liked him.
So calling back to their previous heart-to-heart, Jeff, there's clearly setting something up between Jeff and Faith. Jeff's going to go with the girls, but Stanley, he wanted to go, I feel like he says cheerleaders, but he means Courtney and Kendra. He wants to go get with the dirty girls. And Jeff is like, hey, dude, sometimes you got to go on your own. And Jeff takes off. So, excuse me. Stanley, he excitedly turns around. He's going to jog off camera, hit the other direction. And he says, it's time to fly. And he leaves. But before we cut to the next scene, the camera lingers there for a second and we get some like, and I was like, what the fuck? Cut to, and I had to look up their character names, not that they matter at all. Trevor and Danielle having just finished missionary sex on a blanket in the woods. Trevor's rolling off of her. And I'll just describe this scene real quick and then we can get into why. But anyways, Trevor says, that was interesting in a very sarcastic way. Danielle is upset because she needs a cigarette like now. So Trevor gets up, he dresses like in nanoseconds because they do that. Like we see Danielle being like, give me a cigarette. And then you hear this quick zip sound. Zip. He's not wearing anything that zips. And we cut to him. He's got his shirt on. He turns around and he says, cigarettes make women look like prostitutes.
Yeah.
And then then Danielle just says, go get him.
Yeah.
I don't understand this dynamic and exchange. Like, and it continues and it gets worse. But like,
it's weird that this is the first we're seeing of it.
Yeah, like I don't know if the bit is the first time sex virgins at church camp, and they both like they're propelled to maturity, and like they both realize, well, that was the worst sex I'll ever have.
Yeah, like I don't understand who either of them are. Have we seen either of them?
Ryan, being the sex master of our group, you've had so much sex. Can you tell us what's going on here?
That's true. You got more hours in the game.
Yeah, that's true. But I didn't think about that so much. I saw that whole sequence as just joke references to previous movies. There's a lot of subtle references to other slasher movies. It was like Friday the 13th. It was very much like the sex scene in Friday the 13th Part 5, right down to the shot compositions. The girl in the woods on her back with the boobs. The guy gets dressed, goes out to get her something. But then the whole go get me a beer, go get me a cigarette, that was all from like Halloween. And the infamously quick sex scene in Halloween when the guy crawls on the girl after taking the phone off the hook with PJ Souls. And it takes 2 seconds and she's all like, that's fantastic. And he's very like nonchalant about the whole sexual experience. That's how I took it because of this movie just being that kind of movie where they want to put in the references. And so I wasn't thinking about any characterization. I just saw this whole sequence as, a nice little wink nod to Friday the 13th Part 5 and Halloween and that sort of thing. In sort of filtered through a Naked Gun parody type of lens. But no, we haven't seen this guy before. I mean, he's in the background, this Trevor character, but this is his first line as far as I remember. So it's very much just like, here's 2 people screwed in the woods and remember that from this movie. And that
it was just such a weird,
because,
I guess maybe that is what it's for because it sounds like the very specific references, but it was just very odd for me.
Yeah.
I didn't get any of it.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyways, Trevor gets up, he goes, Danielle is bitching about him. We see a shot of Danielle laying back down on the blanket, and in the foreground, we have the flapjack wagon, and it quickly leaves the shot. So something's not, this is not going to end well for the two of them. Cut to Trevor, he's like humming to himself as he walks through the woods. He stumbles upon the flapjack wagon just sitting there right in the middll of the path, and he exclaims, those are some big fucking pancakes. He's then immediately grabbed by the neck, which I feel like Nehemiah, spoiler alert, the Lumberjack Man, does a lot in this movie. He grabs a lot of people by the neck. Like that's his move or something.
Darth Vader style.
Yeah. This one especially because you don't really see much other than like him choking him and you get a lot of like, carrots cracking sounds. But so we're assuming that he's dead. His neck is crushed or something. Back to Danielle. She shits. She sits.
Yeah, she just shits wildly.
She sits up and she's shouting at Trevor about the cigarettes. Give me my cigarettes. Where are my cigarettes? She puts her bra on. She stands up. You can hear some twigs breaking in the distance. She's like, I can see you out there, Trevor. And then she says, and as the camera like pushes in on her lips, she's like, you're the most spineless, ineffectual piece of shit I have ever met. And you also have a tiny dick. Oh, and you didn't even please me. You can't please anyone because you're such a pussy. Like, just like dogging this dude, like
just for maybe playing a joke. I mean, and I think that was the joke though in and of itself. It was like, instead of just saying, hey, jerk, like you see that in movies a lot of times where somebody, the person, I mean, that fucking happens at Halloween actually, because she thinks the ghost is Bob and it's Michael Myers. But that whole thing where they think they're teasing him and they usually say something mean. But then in this movie, it's got to go fucking harder than that because we're a parody. So she just starts like laying into this guy, hitting him everywhere. And I thought that in and of itself was the joke, the idea of like, we're going harder than you normally would in these things. And but again, the tone is weird. So you're not totally sure because the movie jumps around in all these different, vibes. So,
well, speaking of bouncing around, something bounces off her big old bitties and lands right at her feet. And we get this insert shot. I'm going to put it in the chat of Trevor's head. And it is awfully derpy looking. I loved it. They linger on it twice, and I, of course, was like, "Yep, this is what I want." Nick, what do you have to say about that head?
Explain yourself.
Yeah, explain yourself.
It's fine. I mean, from the maybe it's because you just took a picture of your screen, but like even still, it feels like like the eyes, like they feel like slightly two-dimensional. Like they did
And what
some
was on set, do you
digital compositing onto this.
Oh, you
like
know what?
his face.
I bet they didn't have his face molded, so they just put his face
No,
on top of like
they,
a dummy
They
head.
had like they weren't gonna go through that for this.
No, that's very
certainly
good, Nick. That's very good. Look at you. You're so smart.
There's too much detail in that mouth.
Well, that is apparently the Lumberjack Man that has done that, because he steps right up to the head. She's looking down at the head. We see his feet enter the frame, and she pans up. And again, if it hasn't been established enough, the Lumberjack Man is a big boy, and he stands tall and then grabs her by her shoulders, and he hoists her up. And then he begins making a little bit of a pretzel out of her. And you hear the creaking and the bones cracking, and she's going, Why are you doing this to me? Some of it looks okay. Some of it just looks like, a girl going, oh, my arm over my head. Like, whoa, being real twisted. But anyways, when it's all said and done, we have a human table. The Lumberjack Man has bent her into a table. Yeah. Her bones are broken in her legs and arms, but they're not penetrating the skin. So
no, they're just bulging out real
that's
weird.
Some great dermatology, I guess. I don't know what.
She got thick skin. She looks like Stretch Armstrong. That went bad. But you don't necessarily know it's a table. You think that maybe he's just bent her this way as a form of torture. And that it's pretty unclear.
Villain wickedness. Well, he goes over to the flapjack wagon. He grabs one of them big old pancakes. And as he heads back to her, he takes the sex blanket and he throws it over her. And he sets the blanket down, and then he pulls out of his pocket his big old flapjack fork. And he's observing the situation, and this table is just so damn loud. It keeps screaming for help, and it hurts. And so he very aggressively just hurls that flapjack fork into the ground. He whips that pancake off, and he grabs her, still in the blanket, and he just hurls her into a tree and kills her. And that was probably my favorite kill of the whole movie.
It's a good one.
I love that whole bit.
There are far gorier and sillier ones coming up, but like that one, there was something like
something about it.
It showed personality. It's one of the few times we get Lumberjack Man's personality.
Yeah.
He makes a table out of this girl and then realizes, this table sucks. And then he just whirls the fucking thing at the tree. It's like, Lumberjack Man, he's got more on his mind than just killing. And, I don't know. It was just a funny little bit. I would not have expected, in this movie I would have said twisted her and she's dead and that's the end of it. But then he takes a moment to try and make it to a table. And then when it doesn't work, he goes, fucking angrily whips it at the tree.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he's cruel, but he's got taste. He doesn't just go for any old table to eat his pancakes on.
Yeah.
Well, that
he's
is
got a critical eye for his work.
That's a part of the whole mystique, Joe, as we'll learn.
Mm-hmm.
So we cut to Faith, and she is in the kitchen of the mess hall, and she's making some J.T. Jepson's authentic lumberjack flapjack batter. It's the best breakfast in a box that money can buy. That's all in the box. As she whips together some pancakes and apparently is doing her own thing, trying to spice it up a little bit, Chef Reggie walks in and asks to try the pancakes. And then he proceeds to stick his finger in the batter and taste it. Now, excuse me, I've never tasted pancake batter before. Does it taste good?
No.
I mean, it just tastes, I'm sure it just kind of tastes like a wet pancake.
It doesn't, no, it doesn't even taste like it. It's so
flour.
Yeah, like there's so little taste to it because so much of it is like comes out in the process of cooking. Like if they're trying to do, I feel like Tyler
it's
now digging way too into this.
It's not a cake batter.
I feel like they are trying to imply that he is like he can taste it. You know what I mean?
The chef always tastes the thing before it goes out.
He's so good. He's so in tuned. He can figure it out. Us laymen's with our dumb tongues, we can't figure it out. So it's good.
I'll buy that.
That's not true, but hey, I'm glad you buy it.
Well, anyways, he tastes it. He kind of recoils from it, but he wants to be nice, and so he tells her, these are like the best damn pancakes I've ever tried. Again, it's just the batter, so I don't know how that constitutes pancake, but whatever. But he says that they're just as good as Steve Rodriguez's pancakes. And she's like, well, who's Steve Rodriguez? And then they do this weird little shot of him kind of going like, like I was just kind of made that up. Like, oh, don't call me out. And I don't know if he did make that up or if this is a real person in his life, but he says, oh, Chef Steve Rodriguez, he works over at Denny's. He's great. Just a little bit.
Yeah.
But Jeff then literally slides into the shot like fucking Tom Cruise in his socks. His shirt's half on. Reggie, being the consummate professional bro, he takes that cue. He knows what's up. And he's like, all right, I got to take off. But hey, quick question. Have you seen the syrup? I'm missing a barrel of it.
Which one of you goddamn kids took my barrel?
Well, we'll find out.
Yeah. So anyways, Jeff is just magically right next to her now, and he tries the batter as well. He retches a little bit, but hey, he wants that bum. So he lies and says he likes it, and they're making some small talk, and Jeff, being all cutesy and playful, he sticks his fingers in the batter and he starts wiping it on her face. Faith likes it. She knows what's up. They're gonna have a little play fight with some food. So she grabs the whole bowl and she chases him like from the kind of kitchen area to like, I don't know, it's like there's like prep tables and stuff. She goes to a bigger area and they start hurling food at each other. It's a good old fashioned food fight, boys.
That's right.
So we get they're hurling food at each other, and then in comes, and these were two of my least favorite characters in this whole fucking thing. Silent Bob, and I don't know this effeminate character. Yeah.
Raymond, I believe. I had to do a lot of deep dive into finding their names and the actors.
Raymond is a caricature of a gay Asian kid.
Yeah.
And the other guy is Jay and Silent Bob fused together.
Exactly. Blonde, long hair with the beanie.
But a big boy.
Yeah. So I don't like this thing where it's like, maybe I was just reading too much into it. It's like these guys like either were friends of people and they like need some background characters. So like, it was just so frustrating. So anyways, anytime they were on camera, I rolled my eyes. Sorry.
It was a different time back in 2015.
We'll be saying that when we're doing this podcast in 10 years. It was a different time in 2029.
Yeah.
But anyways, Kendra comes back and she's got a different blonde girl with her. So everyone is throwing food and we see even more characters that apparently just showed up. It's fun. It's messy. There's a flaming shish kebab that's fired at Jeff. A cake is slammed into a girl's face. Jeff is hosing girls down with the sink faucet before he gets nailed in the head with cake. Silent Bob and Raymond, they're acting weird and they're doing a lot of what I thought was unfunny shit. Squirting ketchup and playing with dogs. What do they call the sausage dogs?
Sausage
nunchucks ain't funny to you?
I guess I was so focused on the ketchup guy. Like I
get it
because he's going
because ketchup guy's not doing shit, but I'm rolling it back here, and sausage nunchucks look pretty cool.
Well, the thing about the sausage nunchucks, there are certain things I consider things that exist only in movies. I know I could probably go to a deli or something and get those, but I've never in my life seen them in real life, and I don't know anybody who buys those. Yeah. So that to me is pure cinema, and I love seeing that kind of shit in movies.
Yeah, I think
one of those things that's like only in the movies.
I think of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2: The Secret of the Ooze, because in the opening of that, there's quite a bit of sausage nunchuck.
Sausage play.
I just want to see like Scooby-Doo like wolf him down before Shaggy gets a bite.
Yeah, I'll give him the energy he needs.
Yeah.
Joe's apparently a big underground Scooby-Doo fan.
Oh yeah. I thought Mystery Incorporated was the best of the series, but I hated Scoob.
Okay. So anyways, Faith is hitting the uterus with a watermelon.
That was my favorite bit because it's like it keeps getting more absurd and more like Wet Hot American Summer and any of the Abrams Zucker movies, and then it's all fun and games no matter how absurd it gets until she gets hit with a full-on fucking watermelon right in the gut, and then what's her name comes up.
Jeff stands in first and he's like, hey, whoa, we've gone a little bit too far here. And then he just gets blasted with cakes and pies. And for like the third time, he's like, what the fuck? But then Jacqueline walks in and she's like, oh, what's happening in here, guys? And then just gets pelted with a can of vegetables.
Just a full-on can.
Yeah, and then gets hit with 3 pies and then gets a huge sausage link thrown around her.
Yeah, these guys have just like wasted all their food for the entire summer. They're gonna be just eating nothing but beans.
That's a memory they'll never forget, Joe.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
And it's funny. It's at least the second time there's been a ridiculous food fight out of nowhere on Malevolent Movies, because in Sledgehammer, of course.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god!
I love that these weird themes have been popping up over the last year from watching all this shit.
It's like poetry. It rhymes.
Yeah.
It's so dense.
All right, we're almost halfway through this movie now.
It's everywhere.
If the food fight works, everything works.
So yeah, we cut to a delicious pile of pancakes with big old pieces of butter and just syrup just splashing all over it. It's Shep, and he is having breakfast for dinner, baby. And he could not be happier. But Ranger Potts, gosh darn it, the Dr. Shirt Pants, or what's his fucking name?
Shirtcliffe.
Shirt pants.
He
got in
Michael
her
Shirt
head.
Pants.
And she's sitting there, she's doing some real deep investigating. In one hand, she's looking at an article that says manhunt continues. And in the other hand, she's looking at like what looks like a printed out picture from Facebook. And she's just like, all right, Shep, I need you to go to town and tell Sheriff Hall that they need to help find those hikers. And he needs to go to like a certain bar or something and basically build a posse of all the people who aren't too drunk. So he's like, oh, my pancake's fine. So he leaves. Ranger Potts calls a woman named Fleeta and asks for information on what happened to the career of Michael Madsen. Oops. I mean, she asks about Dr. Peter Shirtcliffe when suddenly there's a big bang outside. And she says, hold on a second, Fleeta. I got to call you back. She's got to go investigate. I assume she's calling like the police?
I guess.
Like
detectives of some kind?
Is Fleeta a hacker? Like,
I'm in.
Ooh, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like a Neo thing.
Yeah, she's going to hack the forest.
yeah, of course.
Can you hack syrup?
I'm done.
Yep. I'm
dang.
up.
What?
So I'm up. Yeah, I get
I'm
two.
sorry. I forget. Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we get double bucks.
Joe's
Double-
eating for
double
two
buck.
tonight.
Aw, that's sweet.
Sean told me he was going to be here today, but we got old second string Buck here.
That's
I
right.
covered for him. I was able
He's
to
our,
cover.
On the
he's our
bench
Tony
Buckley.
Coup coach from the 93 fucking,
Whoa,
what the fuck?
Chicago Bulls.
Chicago Bulls.
Love
Thank you.
it.
He called Joe. Was like, "Gotta cover
Come on,
for me,
good
man.
coach. You got
You,
this.
you got to cover for me. I can't make it. You got to cover for me, Joe." He's like, "Yeah. I got you, man. I got you. Don't worry about it."
My
Yeah, I'll write this
hamstrings.
10 minutes before we start recording. Don't worry. Yeah.
My
But you owe me now. You owe
hamstrings.
me now. You
Yeah.
owe me guitar lessons.
No, the officer goes to investigate the sounds when she's surprised by the lumberjack man who snuck up behind her. He throws her, but she's able to put about 20 shots into him.
What the fuck, Joe? You just
Wait,
skipped
what?
so much stuff.
What?
Okay, hold on a second, Joe. What happens to Miss Potts?
No. I'm going into that. It's all still happening.
No, fine. I just want you to be more descriptive when you talk about this stuff. When he hits her, how far does she go?
That hasn't happened yet.
No, he threw her, like you
Not
just
yet.
said.
I haven't got. Well, yeah, but I mean, it's like.
Joe, you said he threw her and then she put
Okay.
20 shots into him. I'm asking you to elaborate on that part because it's funny. It's very funny because he pushes her and she flies like 20 feet.
Yeah, very far.
Yes, that's the comedy.
Joke.
Okay, never mind.
Okay. He goes down for a second, but when she reaches for the phone, she gets stabbed in the back.
Oh, God. Fuck this. God damn it. Okay. He pushes her like 20 feet. She's on the ground. She gets up, immediately pulls her gun out. She does put 20 shots in him or something like that, like Joe said. But then Lumberjack Man goes down. There's clearly not enough bullets in this gun. She walks back up to him, and while he's laying there on the ground, she puts even more shots into him. She's going to make damn sure. But what's happening when she's shooting him? There's something coming out of him.
Just like smoke.
I think it's a little bit of pancake mix.
Mm.
That's
Little
my
batter.
take.
Okay.
Yeah. It's the dry stuff before you had the wet stuff. But Joe just fucking, because I saw you, Buckley. You were writing this part out in real time. I was watching you.
Yeah.
God. Okay, anyway, she's back in the ranger station. What happens, Joe?
So, she throws a small jug of syrup on him, which starts to dissolve him, and he screams and runs away.
And this is after he had axed her in the spine.
Yeah.
Because that's
Well,
kind of important.
Yeah, I said
because,
that. I said stabbed in the back.
yeah, but she's axed in the spine. Like, right there in the middle of the back. That's a little important for how we see her make it through this movie.
Okay.
Oh God, Joe, this is going to be a disaster. I feel like I should just read this as I am watching it,
Okay.
or describe it, not read it.
All right. It cuts back to the cabins, and Jeff surprises Courtney and the other one with a 6-pack of peach schnapps, and is able to convince them it's non-alcoholic. They get completely shit-faced off 2 drinks each, and almost start fucking in the church.
It's Kendra and Courtney.
Okay, well, I didn't know the name of that one.
Yeah, I know you didn't.
Okay. Jeff is dressed like Jesus and showing off his little 3-inch crucifix, when suddenly the Lumberjack Man bursts in behind them. Jeff gets his face pounded into the children's drawings, and the women run off.
What children's drawings? What do you even...
There's like some little shitty little drawings on like a wall.
You see, I worked all day today, and I still found time to write my part out with detail.
Okay.
This is shameful, Buckley.
Okay.
I might have to go and take some points off now.
Oh.
All right. So the one lady gets her ankle caught in the trap.
Unfazed.
Well, I'm trying to do it.
I get it. Listen, I understand.
Yeah. She gets her ankle caught in the trap and hung upside down, and Courtney runs off to leave her to fend for herself. She gets a syrup pump in the noggin, and blood oozes out onto those sweet cakes. Courtney trips, and she somehow gets squished to death by cooked cake batter, which I don't really know. Maybe it was like very hard pancakes, I don't know. Madsen tries to warn the campers of their impending death.
God,
It's an animated sequence.
Joe,
What?
you have to explain you can't just cut to, and Madsen is explaining, like, you got to set us up. Who's in the room? How did Mike get there? Because he wasn't with them before.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, just watch Lumberjack Man.
It's real good.
I'm done interrupting, Joe. Go ahead. Just do your part.
Okay. So we learn that G.T. Jepson got his famous recipe by killing a
JT.
lumberjack who invited him in for dinner. He tried to convince him to give up the recipe, but he refused and so had to die. Years later, the lumberjack came back from the dead on a killing spree. So Michael Madsen's dismissed as a kook and thrown out of the building.
This is shameful.
What?
I don't know if I can let this go, Joe. This is shameful.
What detail do I need to add?
Joe, there's so, like, come on. Don't be pedantic
Which
about
one
this.
detail?
All of the details. So first of all, that was a incredibly well done animated portion. This backstory of what happened with how JT Jepson basically stole this recipe from the Lumberjack Man. He didn't want to give it up, killed him, took it, and essentially the Lumberjack Man comes back and exacts his revenge. Like there's a whole history here, and because it plays an important part at the end of the movie. So we got to set that up.
No, I understand. I said like he tried to get the recipe, he refused and had to die. The lumberjack came back from the dead on a killing spree.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Sure.
So Michael Madsen's dismissed as a kook and thrown out of the building. Stanley runs after Faith and reassures her that nothing bad will ever happen to them. A promise I'm sure will be broken later.
Was that it?
Oh yeah.
He can't expend at least one extra word to say done.
And that's it.
Yep.
And that's the next set.
All right. Well, here we go, Joe.
Stop killing comedy, boy!
You motherfucker.
Boys, it's almost been a whole year since we watched that flick.
It has, yeah.
Isn't that
We're
fucked
catching up on that.
It frightens me to even think about it.
I
Oh, it
love
does,
it. I
Joe?
can't wait.
Stop killing comedy, boy!
How's that feel, Joe? You got PTSD?
Oh yeah, I'm triggered.
Oh boy.
I'm triggered.
Oh, I'm triggered. No, you're not.
Oh
Yeah.
shit, is this Ryan's part?
Probably.
Oh,
Because he
fuck.
hasn't done his yet.
Oh, we can't do it without Ryan. Ryan
Damn
would be livid.
All right. So
Okay, hold on a second. He's coming
what?
back in.
Oh, good.
Anyways, there's a lot of good goofs in that
There's a
part
lot
that
of good
Joe
news.
skipped over.
I really like the animation.
It was good. Yeah, I
There's a
thought
lot
it was
of
well animated.
there's a lot of
Yeah,
animated.
you thought it was so good you didn't even mention it.
I said animated. I said it was animated.
I don't know if I heard that.
A
I was
lot
probably
of
too
the
upset.
animated stuff in the movies of this caliber are kind of shitty. I really like this a lot.
Yeah, it
looks great.
It's basically, I don't know if it's like a paperish or like a tinted paperish style background, and a lot of it is red like ink and blood. You know, it's a very cool aesthetic, and it works. It works very well.
Definitely reminded me of Butcher. If people want to go check that out on Amazon Prime.
Sure.
Or you could watch Lumberjack Man and get the actual experience that Joe just glossed over.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to plug your movie for you. I'm saying go watch Butcher the Baker's Amazon Prime.
I don't get a
Amazon
goddamn
Prime.
dime from that.
Okay.
God. Joe, you're probably selling bootleg copies of these movies.
Oh yeah, Joe's making a mint. He's making more than any of us will ever.
Just
Butcher the
throwing them on
Baker's is
torrent
probably
leech.
like the Grand Ridge Blu-ray selection. Like they watch it like every Sunday night on all TVs.
They got a couple of copies in that weird like head shop or new age shop, whatever the fuck it is.
Starring Grand Ridge's own Joe Buckley.
Little Joey Buckley.
Imagine if he would have went all the way in with his commitment as an actor. It would have been even funnier if he would have done the Terminator pose.
Speaking of commitment,
I'm
Ryan,
never going to let that go. I'm never going to let that go, Joe.
Commitment, what is it?
Fine.
Yes.
I have lines I won't cross as an actor, and that's completely
Hold
acceptable.
on a second.
right.
Speaking of commitment, Ryan, Joe, like he wrote his part in real time. So what was like a 17-minute section he did in about 90 seconds. He just,
I'm sure.
Just fucking everything. So I hit him with this that you missed.
Stop killing comedy, boy!
Yeah.
Malevolent movies, classic.
I love it. We didn't even realize at the time when we were having a good time with Doll Factory and Stop Killing Comedy that Joe would indeed try to kill comedy the following year, but we don't talk about it.
Well, yeah, absolutely not. Yeah, part of my plea deal is we can't talk
God
about
knows
it.
what he'll do in around Halloween time this year.
It was such an innocent time.
I know.
So are you done then, Joe?
Yeah, we're
on
part.
you,
Yeah,
buddy.
I'm all done.
All right.
Hit us with
All
it.
right, here we go. Michael Madsen, Dr. Shirtcliffe, is driving out of town in his very tiny little smart car when he is stopped suddenly by Ranger Luann, who, despite her major wound, is still alive and on foot, and she jumps in front of his car. He assists her into the car as she keeps repeating the word syrup over and over and over. As they drive away, Shep also runs out from the woods and hollers after them, but they're too far out for them to notice.
Horseshit.
Then he turns and he sees the flapjack wagon right there in the road.
Oh, wait, hold on a second. I apologize. Is this the moment where when Mike comes upon Luann, he comes out of the car and he's like, "Did he get you? Did he get you?" And then he sees her and he's like, "Yeah, I got you." Is that this part? Okay. I thought that was funny because it's like it's just so dry and it's almost like they didn't tell Mike like, "Oh, can you just drive?" Like he was coming late to set. "Oh, as you're driving up, we're gonna be recording, so just come out." He's like, "Oh, did you get you? Oh, you got you."
Yeah, it's like I said, I like even when the jokes don't work with Michael Madsen, I just enjoyed. Yeah, I enjoyed him quite a bit.
It's cool to see him.
And anyway, so there's plenty of time to see him. He makes like 30 movies a year. They're just all crap. So Shep runs out from the woods. Yeah, he hollers after them. And then he turns to see the flapjack wagon there in the road. And he's excited because, he got interrupted on his previous flapjack dinner. So to see this massive pile of flapjacks with big old block of syrup and big old blocks of butter, he starts licking the butter. He doesn't question where it comes from. He's not concerned about that. He just knows, like an animal, he sees a treat and he's like, "Fuck yeah." So he starts
mine.
So he starts licking the syrup and licking the flapjacks when all of a sudden the Lumberjack Man appears from behind him with an axe and appears is the word I'm using, appears to kill Shep with the axe. He screams. We hear the whack, 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 whack. We see his bloody hands on top of flapjack. So we assume Shep is dead. Anyway, then we cut to the mess hall where everybody's having their breakfast for dinner. Fluffy stacks of flapjacks are placed before all the counselors. At that moment, Reggie comes out and announces that he can't find the syrup anywhere. I apologize. The syrup is gone. And everybody boos and moans because what's flapjacks without syrup? But Reggie says, "Hey, what?"
Well, he says like, don't worry, you guys got like sausage and eggs, but you don't see any of that.
It. Yeah.
Pancakes.
He tries to calm him down by saying, "You got plenty of other shit to eat. Flapjacks aren't the most important thing." But they are.
I love
are
the
to a
idea
certain
though
guy.
that like if he left the room and then somebody's like, "There's no sausage and eggs here," like as if he just lied to get out of the room.
They don't have sausage and egg money for this movie.
No.
No,
They barely
they
got
just-
pancake money.
I'm surprised they didn't just give him fishes and loaves.
Yeah.
So yeah, Reggie does that bit. Then it's time to lead the prayer. And Jacqueline is the one who leads the prayer. And this is where we get some goofs because Jacqueline's prayer is full of a whole lot of horse shit and weird stuff. She talks about it being Shrove Tuesday. She talks about the traditions of giving pickled eggs to children and having pancake races and football and mass skipping and cock ringing.
I like that last one.
Yeah, I'm sure you do, involving cock.
Stop killing comedy, boy.
Stop killing cock ringing, boy. And then it's one of these things that you knew was going to happen in the movie, and it happens again, where the religious person has these deep-seated filth in her mind, and she's repressed, and she's going to come out in appropriate moments. And this is that, plus with weird shit I didn't understand. But anyway, Doug interrupts her and is like, well, I think you're getting a little carried away. And she apologizes and launches into more weird shit, which
It's
in
like
her
she
prayer,
took
which-
in what Mike Madsen was saying when he came in and told everybody, you got to get out of here. And so she starts talking about like people dying and stuff, right?
Yep. Yeah. She talks about how like a curse, like Shrove Tuesday. Maybe she knows about all this. And then it ends with her saying that she wants to lie with Doug like a shameless harlot. She got eyes for Doug, and makes it's awkward. Everyone's like, okay, well, thanks. Well, thanks for the blessing. Doug then wonders aloud where Trevor is and where's Danielle, where's Ernie. And matter of fact, there's a lot of counselors not around. Oh, well, fuck it, pancakes. And he dives into his pancakes.
And it's
Might
played,
as well
it's played
start
just
eating.
like that.
Yeah, and it's all a big goof.
What
and
was
then
that
Doug,
you were belching out, Joe?
What?
What
I
was
said,
that you
might
were
as well start eating.
Might as well start eating.
God, that was not worth it, Joe.
You know what? I got a butt in that
interrupt my
too.
train of thought with that.
Was that you, Joe? Is that Joe?
Oh, my lord.
Joe records. If you ever got into his phone, you'd see he's got a bunch of MP3s of his farts.
Joe, is this you right now? It is.
Uh-huh.
I love this because it's like when you do something to like your nephew and then your nephew, I can do that too.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
I got a soundboard now.
It's cute, Joe.
Oh, thank you.
Get to the chopper.
I've got balls of steel.
All right. Can I finish, Joe? Can I finish, or do you have
Yeah,
some more?
that's completely fine. That's
You
Ryan
fine.
got some more
yelled at
gas.
you
In,
and
you
not
got some more
me.
gas in the tank. There we go.
Okay, I let it.
All right, Joe. Doug then expresses excitement about the next day when the campers will arrive. And as he's doing this, he's picking up flapjacks, putting them on his plate, and then he picks up what he thinks is a pancake, but what is in reality Ernie's skinned face, complete with his glasses on. And so now we see what exactly Lumberjack Man did when he approached dead Ernie with his axe. He perfectly roundly skinned Ernie's face. As Teresa and Doug scream at their findings, the door explodes inward to reveal Lumberjack Man. Everybody freezes in terror, and then Jacqueline stands up and says, Jesus fucking Christ! And then Lumberjack Man hurls his hatchet through the air in a scene very reminiscent, I think on purpose, of Kill Bill Volume 1, where it's in slow motion, and you see everybody kind of watch it. It's a good shot, and they pull it off. Then the small axe, the hatchet, embeds itself into Jacqueline's forehead, launching her backwards and killing her, and panic erupts. While everyone's running around screaming, and Lumberjack Man begins his killing spree. Faith and Jeff run into the kitchen with Reggie. Lumberjack Man approaches Logan, the rip-off craft beer stoner looking guy, who can't move because he's, quote, so fucking high right now. Lumberjack Man then cuts off both of his arms and then decapitates him. Doug also runs into the kitchen, knocking over a counselor while he does it.
And how does he
locks
run, Ryan? How would you describe that?
He takes very small, very fast steps. So he's fleet of foot, but he's not taking long strides, and he doesn't move his arms a whole lot. It's almost like he's got to take a piss, and he's scared
almost
if he
like a
runs too
T-Rex.
much. Yeah, it's just this very deliberate, sort of silly, goofy, weak, cowardly run.
It's one of those things that, like, of course, would happen in one of these silly Malevolent movies. But, like, most of the time I would probably hate and just be like, come the fuck on. Like, you're just trying too hard. But I It killed me every time I saw it.
Yeah, I liked it, and it fits in with the character. You know,
And
this
it fits
guy
in with
his
the
hair and
conclusion
everything.
to our character.
Yes, yes. So that Doug runs into the kitchen, knocking over a counselor. He locks himself in the kitchen with Faith, Jeff, and Reggie. Reggie says, "We need to go out there and help them." And Doug says, "Quote, are you flapping crazy? No one's going out that door." Showing that he's a coward, but he's still not so scared to break his religious vows of no swearing. Meanwhile, Lumberjack Man is axing people. He's throwing people into power boxes, which causes the electricity to go out. Doug still refuses to unlock the door, even after Reggie threatens to kick his ass. And then Doug's assistant, Teresa, reaches the door. She's banging on the door, begging for them to let her in. But Doug just watches as Lumberjack Man then thrusts his arms into her back, right through her. At this point, Raymond grabs the knife and charges at Lumberjack Man. Lumberjack Man then retracts his arms from inside Teresa, and he is now holding what appears to be 2 breast implants.
Mm-hmm.
He then bounces them very skillfully. He bounces the breast implants off of the pancakes and right into Raymond's face, knocking him to the ground, which makes him throw his knife up into the air. It flips around a little bit, and then, of course, lands right down onto his throat, killing him.
It's this bizarre Rube Goldberg death. Like, I had to rewind that several times because I'm like, how are these breast implants gaining momentum? Like, as they're flying? It's bizarre.
Yeah, and it's a breast implant joke that comes out of nowhere because I don't recall anybody talking about Teresa's breasts. They talk
And we
about
see
Faith's.
them.
Yeah, we see them and stuff, but it's never, I don't know why.
Natural.
Yeah, and again, we see a lot of boobs in the movie. I don't know why the movie decided to say, hey, Teresa's going to have the fake boobs and not. It's a goof. It's fine. I did like, again, there's a little moment that shows the Lumberjacks characterization in this, but the fact that he, instead of just turning around and killing, he drops them and it does some, he does his little trick where he banks them off the pancakes at Raymond. Again, it shows that Lumberjack Man's kind of fun when he wants to be. So Doug at this point escapes from the kitchen through a back door. Reggie, Faith, and Jeff take a moment and then decide, yeah, we're also going to head that way. But it was long enough that they're all separated now. So Reggie, Faith, and Jeff are by themselves, and they run to the loading dock, which has a large overhead garage door. And they're attempting to force it open. At that moment,
that part drove me crazy.
Yeah,
because it's that classic, like, you need to give them, like, I don't know if this is the right term, but stage direction, like very specific stage direction. Because what it looked like is they walk up to it and they're just like touching the door, like, whoa, why won't it open? This is how you open doors. Beep, 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 beep.
Yeah, I'm gonna palm it open.
I mean, yeah, like the basketball team.
Then, yeah, they're attempting to force it open. At that moment, Lumberjack Man enters the room, and now he's holding a very large spear. Eventually, the three are able to get the door up. Faith and Reggie go out. Jeff is holding the door above him. He tells them to run. I don't know why he felt he need. It's a hero moment, whatever. It's a goof. I don't know. But as he's holding it, telling them to run, he is speared from behind by the Lumberjack Man. And then in a nicely choreographed, well-shot scene, he is then pulled slow motion backwards into the darkness as he reaches out to them, and there's smoke and fog, and it's a nicely done shot.
I will say this. Well done shot, not well edited. Because it lingers too long on the door being up. Like the shot of him getting pulled into the darkness, the eyes are glowing of the Lumberjack Man in the background as they dip into blackness. And the door just doesn't seem to fall. But then you cut to the reverse shot of Faith and Reggie just standing there. And again, it's just the wide open space. And then finally the door falls into frame slow motion. It was like, I felt something deep in me that said, oh no. And I don't know what it was, like, because I kind of felt like there a couple things dragged on a little too long here and there. But this is when I really started to feel like, what's going on? And I know it's a small moment. It's not that big of a deal. But as the movie goes on, it just gets worse and worse and worse and worse. It's like, learn to edit. You need to trim, make it clear and concise. We get the shot. It's pretty, but that doesn't mean we need to hold on every frame of it. So,
and
sorry.
I think it's
just my little...
No, and I think that's valid to also say that the director was also credited as the editor. Okay. So it's one of those, you know how it goes.
This could have easily been a quick like
85 minutes.
yes,
Oh, yeah.
Because it's an hour.
Oh, yeah.
a scrumptious 85
It's
minutes.
like, what, 135?
It's an hour and 44 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
44.
And
Jesus,
the-
we better get rolling.
And this goes all the way to the end. The credits are only like 2 minutes long. They're relatively
Yeah.
short for some of our movies.
Yeah, it was when I first saw the running time, I was like, come on. An hour and 44 for this silly comedy horror movie.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. Don't take the extra 10. You can have 90, but not the 95.
This was more than 95, though. It's
Yeah.
100,
Well, 105, sorry.
Okay, I'm not. All right, so yeah, the door shuts then eventually. The pair haul ass through the woods. They stop when they come upon Stacy. Remember Stacy? She's sitting at a picnic table with her back to them. When she doesn't respond to them calling her name, Reggie goes up and touches her, and of course she falls apart. She's been dissected in several spots, and the slides all over the place, gooey, gory goop. Reggie, there is a good funny bit here because the Lumberjack Man appears out of nowhere, kicks the remaining piece of Stacy right off the table with that classic sound effect kick sound that you've heard a million times, which made me laugh. Reggie and Faith then run away. They reach a barn and they go into the barn and they're looking out the slats to see if the Lumberjack Man is there, and they know something's out there. There's fog, there's sounds. They then arm themselves with a pipe wrench and a broom handle. Then they decide to jump outside. They jump out of the barn with their weapons and ready to fight when they are startled by Michael Madsen. Michael Madsen then tells them that they cannot leave. They must stay and finally put an end to Lumberjack Man's, quote, breakfast of ghastly vengeance. Then he claims to have discovered the Lumberjack Man's only frailty. And he reaches into his pocket to pull it out, and he pulls out some black panties. Whoops, wrong pocket.
Whoa.
That was some earlier.
So is the implication here that that's just the lifestyle of Dr. Schlippity Dippity? Or
Yeah.
is there an implication here that it involves pots?
I don't know, because initially I thought it was just a goof. Oh, this is a handsome guy. He goes town to town, But then again, coming up at the very end of my bit, which Trevor alluded to, they do this back and forth about him having a smart car. He says this whole thing about there's not enough room and Miss Potts is in there and she's he hems and haws about her condition. So again, I don't know. I don't know if it was just supposed to be a sight gag or there was more implications.
Yeah.
It's not totally clear. I guess you could take either or if you, but then again, I think Potts is in no condition.
Yeah.
She's got a big gaping wound in her back. But then again, it's Michael Madsen. You know what I mean? He's smooth.
That's right.
That wound's not deep enough.
Hey, listen up.
I can poke it further.
What makes you up?
Is that a Hanzo blade? Oh, no. Oh, so he pulls out the panties and he whoops, wrong pocket. And then he reaches into the other pocket and he pulls out a little packet of maple syrup. And he says, this is the only thing that's going to kill Lumberjack Man. It's what killed him in the first place. All of a sudden, Doug pops out from wherever he was hiding. He was hiding around there and he curses them out. He finally takes the plunge and starts cussing and talking his shit. We knew it was coming. He cusses them out for talking too loud and giving away their hiding places. And he's like, you're going to be the ones that die, not me. And then he runs off doing his weird little funny run off into the woods.
Where he barely moves.
He barely moves. And our heroes don't give a fuck. They're watching him like whatever.
No. Yeah.
And then we're with Doug. We're running through the woods with him when all of a sudden something unseen stops him abruptly in his tracks. He looks up. We see over his shoulder ahead of him as his bottom half from his waist down keeps on running, squirting blood as he just stands in one spot. Confused, he looks down at his waist to see that he has ran right into a tree saw that has been stretched horizontally between two trees, and he's been cut in half. And his top half is just resting on the saw as blood and entrails stream out. The Lumberjack Man then walks up to him. They take a moment kind of looking at each other, and then Doug dies, dropping his good friend's church camp folder onto his piled up entrails.
Damn.
And that's the end of my section.
Poor Doug.
I think it's worth mentioning how good the legs kind of look when they're running off on their own.
Absolutely.
It's a pretty solid visual effect.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and it's fun, and it
That's
works really
good.
well, and it's fun, and it's a nice bit actually.
How do you think they maybe did it? Like, is it like a mat? Like they kind of painted that the top half, or do you think it's like
that's
a robot
clearly
legs?
a play.
Or...
They that camera is not moving one bit in those shots. So there's a guy. They probably made him run through with a green shirt on, and then they took it out.
Yeah, because the blood's CG that's squirting out.
Yeah.
But Nick, better or worse than the creator in Skin Deep?
I mean, this is definitely. I was gonna say this is goofier, but not that. It's not goofier than Skin Deep.
No, it's goofier than that.
It's
what about the leg decapitation scene from Doll Factory?
Oh yeah, hey.
It's like comparing apples and sausages.
What about the pee-pee chop in Doll Factory?
Mazel tov.
Yeah.
Remember all those movies.
Oh, what a time that was.
Man,
What
I
a
love
time.
Doll Factory.
Well, here we are. It's all downhill from here.
It really is, unfortunately.
Did you just
wrap this thing
Did
up?
you just say it's all doll from here?
Hill from there?
Doll Hill from here?
Sure I did.
That's what I heard. So
Mike says that the little packet of syrup won't be enough. Once he finishes his flapjacks, it's going to be too late, which I take to mean that he's done with his murder, which we come to find out is the case. So I think this is them saying like, yeah, it doesn't matter. Let's just leave it alone. But they don't. But anyway, and as he says that once he finishes his flapjacks, it'll be too late. We see him finishing his flapjacks, and then they gotta go. So in the shed that they're in, they find some things that really don't pay off, like a giant handheld like masonry saw. And then there's this weird back and forth between Reggie and Mike about his smart car. They're just like talking about how tiny and useless it is.
hold on, this is Trevor's favorite bit.
This is great. I was so happy when they brought it back. That's all.
Yep.
It was a treat. It made me feel smart for a minute.
I was kind of hoping it was going to turn into one of those things where the car is like Nehemiah isn't dead just yet, and then he slams into him with his smart car, but it of course does nothing. In fact, maybe like the car explodes, but Nehemiah's just standing there.
I was hoping for a chase.
That would have been good.
I love when I see those little smart cars out in the wild because I feel like I'm in like post World War II Italy. It's like these tiny little cars driving around.
Yeah,
we had some neighbors that they both had two of them. They had two of the same car. And it's like that's weird. $8,000 worth of car. That's nice. Just between the two of them.
Yeah.
What if the car ended up being like Herbie? Like it was like honking to distract him just in time so they can get the moves on the lumberman?
Right. Car movies.
Sure. Let's do a car week, boys.
Car week.
Or car month, I guess.
We can watch that
Christine, Maximum Overdrive.
There you go. Yeah. There's two of them.
So
two in the bag.
Oh, the car. We can watch the car with James Brolin.
There you
go. Now the Hitcher, it takes place by a car. I think that counts.
No, that's not a psycho car movie. That's a psycho who drives a car. Actually, he hitches a ride.
Nick, what happens next?
So from here on out, this is kind of
silly.
This is where I start to feel like there's like, what do we do? Let's just improvise the rest of this movie. It feels very Butcher the Bakers to me.
Oh, just that was like, exactly my thought. 100%.
Yeah, just like we got to wrap this thing up. We're running out of time.
Hold on a second. They're not running out of time though because they take their fucking time.
No, yeah, they do, and I got a little breakdown of that sort of. But so now we're at the cabin. This is the Lumberjack Man's cabin, and inside the stove spews forth the Lumberjack Man himself, like they rubbed a genie's lamp, and he just pops out. Which leads me to believe he was asleep. We had 30 years of bliss, but they just couldn't leave it alone. I don't really get their motivation because I mean by this point, the tension, the real conflict of the movie is kind of resolved. But whatever. So they go into the cabin to confront the Lumberjack Man, and Reggie, he takes the big saw, but he doesn't know how to work it. So Lumberjack Man throws it out the window and wastes all of our time.
Like, I want to like the bit. I want
loved
to.
it.
Yeah.
But they're standing there so long holding this thing and not actually doing anything with it that it
Well,
drove me crazy.
That's this entire thing because like there's a lot of they're just like standing there while he's standing there, not even really being menacing. They have plenty of time to like, are you okay? We gotta go. Let's do this thing. Blah blah blah. Do all this stuff, and then someone starts to move. But anyway, he throws it out the window, wastes all of our time. He then incapacitates Reggie by just grabbing his neck as he has been doing.
Yeah.
Mhm. You got one move.
Yeah. So
he's got too many
then,
carbs. He's tired.
then our what's the male ranger? He
Shep.
shows up. Chet. Yeah.
Shep.
Shep.
Yep.
Shemp.
Yeah, Shemp Howard shows up.
Fake Shep showed up.
He shows up and he gets his heart ripped out and fed to himself, and is just kind of largely ignored. They just go on as if it didn't matter because it doesn't. It's another one of those instances where she's trying to talk to Reggie, and there's plenty of time. Nothing's really happening. She's not being pursued. She keeps her hand up on a wall, and he throws a hatchet and chops some of her fingers off. Again, doesn't really affect anything. Then Michael shows up with a shotgun because he kind of disappeared. He shows up with a shotgun and extends the runtime of the movie a little bit.
Okay, so here's how this should have ended. If they needed to do more bits and gags before Michael showed up, that's fine. I fully expected those shells to be full of maple syrup, and I'm pissed off that they're not.
Oh,
Like that, I was like, yes, Michael's coming in with some soupy bullets. And no, it's just a shotgun.
Nope. So he unloads in him.
Oh God.
Oh yeah.
You want to take a run at that, Joe?
Go on.
Hey, nothing wrong with some man bottom love. That's what I always say. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Stop killing comedy, boy!
Thank you.
Uncharacteristically progressive
Yeah.
Statement from Joe Buckley.
Correct.
Uh-huh.
Man bottom Those are unhealthy. Unhealthy.
Stop it, Joe. You're getting
Anyway.
too many laughs out of me, and you haven't earned them.
They know
all
it, we
Joe's
know it.
doing is gripping. I'm sorry, I'm saying this, but all Joe's doing is gripping his prolapsed anus and just pushing the air out of
Yeah,
it.
yeah, just squeezing them like getting lemonade and like lemon juice.
Oh, well, don't rupture anything, Joe. It ain't worth it.
Like
I think it's always worth it for the
like
gag.
a baseball and a
It's
tube
always
sock.
worth it. Star Trek.
Hey, we came full circle.
Did.
Live long and use the force, Buckley.
Oh boy.
Lumberjack Man ain't dead. We know it. He
Oh,
starts
no,
to
of course.
slowly walk towards our trio. Michael takes out the weird little packet of syrup, and he can't open it, and that gives us an extra 50 seconds of this
No,
movie.
it's too slippy.
Yeah, he just can't get he can't tear it. It's
Use your
I
teeth,
relate-
Mike.
I'm just gonna say
We all been there.
I don't recall ever having to interact with a little packet of syrup. I don't know where he
Yeah.
specifically got this.
This
I
is
think it
something
makes
from a
sense.
bygone era.
Little tiny bottles, more like you find
Yeah.
at a
Cracker
Cracker
Barrel.
Barrel. Those make
Yes.
more sense.
Mm.
That's kind of the industry standard. We've all kind of agreed that it comes in a little jug, a little bottle.
I feel like there has to be like an equivalent to that. Like you buy the rice mix and there's a little packet of sauce in there or something.
Because
like-
yeah, that was because it's got the same brand name, so I think that's what.
Yeah, maybe JT.
So it's in the JT Jepson.
Yeah,
whatever.
it's in the box.
But
I've
it-
done that with like General Tso's like chicken I've pan fried that came in like a little packet like that, the sauce.
Yeah. I get it.
It's just we've never seen a box
It
of
makes
pancakes
sense,
like that.
but there's
Hey, fellas, maybe this is why JT is the best game in town
We-
because it comes with its own
Breakfast in a
syrup.
it's
Yeah.
weird enough to where
Whole
we're hung
fucking
up
thing.
on it as a detail because
true.
you've never
Yeah.
seen this. You've never seen this in the real world.
Now hold on
No.
a second. You guys have to remind me, or I'll remind myself when I finally edit all these fucking episodes. Was there not a conversation about a drink making contest for the award ceremony?
There was.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I've done some
somebody
research.
Put some maple
already.
syrup in one of these drinks, all right?
Oh,
Put some
Yeah.
little
Joe, I
JT
just want you to
Jepsons in
drink
there.
maple syrup. Period. Put a little water in it, I guess.
Hey, Joe,
Yeah.
Joe, make a drink and put some pancake batter around the rim.
Oh,
Oh, like a little margarita thing?
And
Yeah,
then
like the salt-
Margarita.
Margarita. I go for it,
make
Joe.
sure you put your.
That's
Make sure
you
put
get a title right there.
Yeah. You gotta have the Mandarin origins. You need to have the Mandarin oranges in the margarita. So much bullshit words.
Uh,
I think it's festive. I think it's summer. I think it's a summer drink.
Hey, I get it.
Sure.
Like
Anyway,
Arnold Palmer.
we've wasted another minute on syrup opening.
We sure do.
And then he gets punched out. It's not very creative. There's not a lot of creativity in a lot of this. It's just like, oh, squeeze their neck, throw them, punch them out.
Yeah.
because once they exit that cabin, which is the syrup bit is the first bit. It's I don't how long I'm gonna fucking bounce through here. It feels like fucking 10 minutes. My God,
pretty
it
much
almost
is.
might be.
Yeah.
Because
yeah, it is.
it just keeps going, and it's not like the excitement level is over. Like the Michael coming in and shooting him with a shotgun is probably the last of that really exciting stuff.
Yeah.
And then it's like it's bit after bit after bit. And
Wait a minute.
Uh-oh.
Do you think it's slowing down because of the syrup? Do you think this is just one big directing choice? That
Ryan,
the more syrup comes into this movie, the slower it gets because syrup is sticky?
Yeah,
Could it be?
it could, maybe,
hell.
possibly.
This is
You
doubt it.
fucking sold me, you son of a bitch.
I mean,
Oh,
I don't
boy.
think so. But I mean,
if this
goes-
doesn't win the bullshit conspiracy theory award or whatever the fuck it's called.
Yeah.
because
Well,
honestly,
just-
syrup.
Just think. I mean, the movie's like a pancake. It's like fluffy and light at the beginning, and then a sloppy mess by the end.
It is, and it's slow moving, just like syrup down a mountain or syrup over a nude body. You know,
I hate that they're
That's
right.
I
frustrating.
don't know.
I
don't know.
fucking hate that
Because
they're
I
right.
could totally believe I could believe somebody that would make a movie like this would think that they're so smart that they're like, it's artsy. It's artsy.
It's a
You see what I'm
metaphor,
doing here?
man.
Yeah, you never know. I don't know.
Fuck
if
you,
I'm-
Ryan. Fuck
There's a
you.
lot going on in Lumberjack
Fuck you
Man.
for
A lot of
putting that
Charles
out there in the
Kuehnel.
world. God damn it.
I would never. I just thought of it in this minute. So maybe if I would have stopped thinking or stopped hearing 10 seconds ago, I wouldn't
stop
have had
thinking.
this. Joe, play those fart things again.
Okay, right.
All right, he's gripping it.
There we go. There we go.
Excellent. Oh, squeaker. I like the anticipation for that one.
I'll be honest.
Tyler likes that one the
we
best.
should just do an episode where we're not on it and it's just 90 minutes of Joe playing fart sounds silently.
Okay. I just got 3 different soundboards. I got
That's
the
the
fart
next-
one, I got the
yeah.
Stav bot, and I got Duke Nukem.
Boy, Nick, what happens next?
Blow it out your ass.
Mike just got punched out.
Damn it.
Faith is her name. She
Yes.
picks up the shotgun and tries unloading into the lumberjack man, but it's
Yep.
empty,
Oh,
and we wasted another 45 seconds.
Okay, I apologize to keep derailing this. Has this ever been done as a bit? You know, because I know that the cocking of the shotgun is a classic trope and a thing that happens. But has there ever been a shot where somebody they kept cocking it and the loaded shells were popping out that hadn't been spent, and then they go click, there's nothing left.
I don't think so.
Like they're trying to pump it up like it's a super soaker.
Yeah, like how an idiot would treat any shotgun. But as they're doing it, the active shells are falling out the side of it. So like they're losing their ammunition as
Let's
they go.
just say it hasn't been done, and let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, cut this
what
bit
you
out of the
guys do,
show.
It's got to be done by some stupid kid who earlier in the movie is always with a super soaker.
Yeah.
So in his mind, you know, and then he gets a real gun. He's like, he operates it like a super soaker, but of course it makes all the.
Okay. Write this down. Oh no. Oh God, that was a real one, ladies and gentlemen. That was right off the tap.
Yeah, that was too real. That was too fucking real. I know how many ridges you have in your both sphincters right now. I can hear the reverberation. I know. It's like I've been in at this point.
I felt like I was back at his house.
That was like an ultrasound of his asshole. I can feel like I see it.
It was like echolocation. We get a whole view, 3D view.
Joe's a proctologist, and when he does is he places his ear against a butthole, and they just, okay, go ahead, just a little toot, and when we see the air go into his ear canal, but then it turns into that science thing where you see the microbes flying in there, his synapses firing, Joe's eyes going.
I was thinking it's more like the Sonic vision in Daredevil.
Yes.
Like he can see like their internal
my
organs
God.
I
and
don't
everything.
need eyes to see anymore.
But we get a view of the inside of Joe's brain, like Tyler's saying. It looks like the beginning of the first X-Men movie, where it's like zipping through the brain.
He's got that
system.
little thing that they do to check your eardrums, but he puts it in the tip of the bee, and he's looking in there.
And it goes, boom, washes over him.
He blows into
Joe
it.
just has nonstop ear infections from the.
Oh man.
Yeah,
shit
you're gonna have to spread and cough for me, sir.
Oh Lord.
All right, I'm sorry.
Jesus Christ. No,
So
listen.
the
this would be a good
shotgun is
episode.
empty.
Yeah. Anyway.
So she gets thrown into the inside of the cabin, and there is where we find the missing barrel of syrup.
Oh
And
my God.
It is in there. It has a goofy warning
Danger
label on it,
syrup.
like it's like a
Danger sticky.
hazardous material sticker.
Like my body almost physically rejected this movie when she got put back in that cabin, because I'm like, I'm done in the cabin.
It's like we
We're
made
done in
progress. We made progress, and then we went back. We're going back and forth.
Yep.
We just want to. It's too much.
It's like when you're when you're between squeezes in the bottle of the syrup, it kind of goes back up in, and you
Yep.
gotta just give that last
There
big.
you go.
See?
There
Another
you
one.
go.
Yeah.
So she announces that she found the syrup, and Michael tells her that she needs to strip down naked and cover herself in syrup. And she's like, "Why?" And
Yeah, do I
he can't
have
really
to?
describe exactly why, but we know why. But
It's like cotton. Your clothes are going to soak up all the syrup.
yeah, it's to fulfill that trope that we need in this movie, or
Yeah.
you know, it's there for a reason. It's done more tastefully than we expected.
I don't think
because-
it's that at all. I just think that it's the joke. I think they thought it would be funny because what if Michael, oh my God, guys,
Well, no,
Michael,
they're
big
absolute-
Hollywood guy, he gets all the girls. And he tells our lead to take her clothes off because she stays in her underwear and her bra, thankfully, for that actress. But we've seen tits throughout this whole movie. So
Yeah.
it's just bizarre that it doesn't go. I was kind of like her, and then I'm like, she didn't.
Yeah.
Well,
Weird.
this whole thing, I feel like that was just made up that night because, again,
Oh,
the
100%.
improv aspect of this just starts to
Yeah.
shine through.
Yeah, and then her little
Um,
fingers that were chopped off, they start talking to her, but
Yeah.
nobody else can hear it.
You have to stop drag.
Uh-huh. So she starts. She is covered in sticky icky and mud. I don't know. So she starts taunting our lumberjack man and claims to be the great granddaughter of the guy who ripped off his recipe. And then he goes for her because the taunt worked.
Is she being honest or is she
Yes.
taunting?
No, I believe she's honest because remember how offended she is earlier when Michael Madsen comes in and tells the story,
Yeah.
or and she runs up and cries. So at that moment in the movie, I remember thinking, I bet there's a connection.
Yeah.
Because why would she be so pissed off at the concept that pancake batter was a murderer's brainchild or
She
whatever?
just loves those pancakes. It's
Like,
just
it's-
like the people of Aunt Jemima.
It's just weird that there's only one instance of that setup, and then like the payoff isn't even really that interesting. It's
And
just
that's-
like, oh hey, and also this. It would almost be like when she's getting off the bus, Doug needs to say, okay, Faith, J, or something for Jepson, something like that.
Yeah, and that's something that I'll talk about when I do my thing. Is this movie has a lot of half-baked ideas that they never follow through with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They just throw something. You're like, oh, that could have been good with a little bit extra this, and this is one of those. I feel.
Half baked, Joe.
Yeah, a little high. Nothing wrong with being a little high.
So he goes for her. And she just sort of grabs him and he starts to smoke, but it doesn't work. And then he chokes her, starts to choke her out a little bit, but then it does start to work. So like the syrup does start to hurt him. And so we just wasted another 30 seconds. And then it's kind of lights out for him. He goes down.
It's literally lights out, and I want to
Yeah.
point this out. I did not like the design of the eyes. It took me out.
I didn't
of it.
like the design of Lumberjack Man, period, to be honest.
Like, I was fine with the whole like big hair, messy hair, log face thing, but the eyes just felt so fake to me. Like, what is the glow? What is going on here? There's like a glass there. It was weird. It's like he has like a prescription wooden mask or something. Like, I don't know.
I didn't like it.
It's pretty stock. Like, it's
Yeah.
So sorry, my complaint out of the way.
Yeah. So he's down. She goes outside. There's some kind of awkward triumphant banter, which
Hold
just
on. I'm
felt-
sorry, Nick. I love to interrupt you because I don't want you to leave.
Yes.
No, I apologize.
Let's keep this movie going forever.
To heap on this. After she takes him down, we get a shot of them both laying down on the ground, and at no point would you ever think that, oh, this could have hurt her too. It's just fucking syrup. But they do the classic gasp, sit up, like, who was questioning whether or not she may have been dead? No
Well,
one.
maybe she got bear hugged.
She did get choked out for a little bit.
Yeah.
I guess, but we've established previously it takes at least 15 to 20 seconds for that choke out to kill you.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm just I'm going to
They
surprise some people.
needed it. The syrup was building up. It's getting slower.
We
It's
needed
stuck in
to
there.
extend the runtime a little bit
Yeah.
more.
If the
We're
last
walking
shot of
through
this
molasses.
movie was
Were
if the last shot of this movie was the character saying the classic ending lines like, "Well, we survived to see the sun," or something like that, but then all of a sudden syrup just started pouring out of their mouths. Would have loved it. Would have loved it. 5 stars.
Yeah.
What if instead it was like a little boy like looking into a snow globe, but the snow globe was filled with like syrup? And that's...
Because that's the ending of was that Saint Elsewhere?
Yeah.
Nick, finish it, please, God.
Or Hill Street Blues or something.
they're outside, they're having banter, and then they start to see that the lumberjack man is turning to light. He's glowing, and
He's
that
ascending.
means he's about to explode. So they get the fuck out of there, and the whole cabin just goes kaboom. Cut to the next morning, they're on the side of the road, and a good old boy in a truck pulls up and offers them a ride. And I lost my notes because I did not save the thing, but they all get in the truck. Our lady ranger has just appeared out of nowhere. She's back. I guess she was fine. They got her back for the day.
Yep.
They get in. I can't remember the line she says because I lost my notes, but she gets in the front seat and she basically tells the nice good Samaritan who's giving her a ride to like fuck off or something.
He hits on her.
Yeah, but whatever.
I ain't never seen such a pretty lady with a hurt up spine before.
Yeah,
Something
she's
along those lines.
That's
and
what every
she's-
chiropractor says. That's
she's totally fine. By the way, the spine injuries are just they're
Easy. Walk
fun.
it off.
The rest of them get in the back. The nice good Samaritan offers to take them to breakfast for some flapjacks, and then we get that callback line, which I do not have written down, but
You don't know what breakfast is.
that's something. Yep, there it is, and that's
Lumberjack
Lumberjack Man.
Man. Hell yeah.
Woo.
Yeah.
How do we feel?
Yeah, well, there you have it, Lumberjack Man on
I feel
a
like I got a
sketch.
belly full of pancakes.
You feel okay? So let's go back. This feels like you had a big breakfast. The last like 10 minutes of it moves as slow as molasses.
Mhm.
You feel sick, you feel tired. That's the feel. The last like
Yeah.
10-15 minutes of this movie are you having to get up out of the restaurant and go to your car. It's a tired feeling. It's a slow feeling. But
Love it.
you had some good it tasted some pretty good stuff along the way.
Yeah.
Also,
There
I
were
don't
some
think
sweet bites.
I don't think we covered it because Joe failed to mention it in his second section. I love the name of the Lumberjack Man, Nehemiah Easter Day.
Oh, hell yeah.
I
Yeah.
fucking
and
That's a
love
good
it.
name. Good
and the
name.
fact that, he begins on Shrove Tuesday, the day before Lent. Lent ends on Easter. He ends Easter Day. It all kind of fits in a weird kind of circular
Yeah.
pattern. So, yeah, it was a great name.
Yeah. Sorry.
I liked the lore. I liked the lore of the character. Every slasher, villain of that ilk needs to have a fun backstory. And I liked the back. It was stupid, but it made sense to the pancake and the syrup. And, I liked his backstory.
It would kind of be like if Voorhees is named like Friday 13th Man.
I don't know what that joke is.
Man,
Jason Friday 13th Man.
it's a big swing, and I appreciate it. It wasn't a
It's-
good one, but it was a good. I appreciate the effort.
Friday.
Thank you, thank you.
13th Man.
I appreciate it, Joe. There.
Yeah.
Joe, you
I
better
tried.
copyright that before one of the fans gets their hands on that.
Yeah,
Are you sure that wasn't said in an episode of one of these cartoons you watch? These
No.
comedy cartoons, Family Guy or Bill.
I
and
do not
Morty
watch
or
Family
whatever.
Guy. No, I
You
hate
think
Family
that's
Guy.
bad?
Absolutely not.
I'm just gonna. I could see that being.
Bill
What
and
about
Morty.
Friday
What do they call you?
13th
I'm Friday
Man?
13th Man.
I'm
No.
James Friday the 13th.
I don't believe so. No, absolutely
All right.
not.
Who's rating this fucking thing first?
Yeah, the step
Not
from
me.
malevolent to benevolent, Joe, because your mouth is already still open. What do you think?
All right. So I thought this was a benevolent film. So I did. I liked how the killer just kind of had this like weird pancake thing going. Like he had like all these like little different kills like involving pancakes, like the table and like the blood spout and like just like press like smushing
it.
somebody with pancakes. No.
Blood spout. You mean the maple tap?
Yeah.
The
Oh,
sap tap?
love it.
Yeah, I thought there was I thought everybody did like a decent job with like the acting. I liked Madsen. I thought there was some good effort overall. So yeah, I'll give it a benevolent.
Very good.
All right.
Yeah, I'll let Trevor go.
All right. So I I'm kind of ashamed to admit I loved this movie. Like I kind of alluded to a few times throughout the episode, I can't really explain why I love it so much. It just hit real good. I feel like a lot of the movies we watch either look really good and aren't very funny, or they're pretty funny, but they don't look good, or a combination of both, and the gore is really shitty, or it's just kind of boring. And this had a little bit of everything for me that I was looking for. I'll echo what Joe said. I don't really, nobody really stuck out as like a bad, horrible actor like usual. There's a couple.
Yeah.
Everybody was fine. Nobody was incredible, but everybody was pretty good. Everybody kind of knew. I didn't have any tone problems. I like when shit goes in completely opposite directions a lot, and this one does every 5 to 6 minutes, I feel like. But yeah, I absolutely love this. This to me is one of my favorites, along with Doll Factory. I love these weird fucking movies that Nick finds. And yeah, I gave this a full benevolent. I think I gave it all the possible points for this. Loved it. Absolutely will watch this again. Ryan, what did you think of Lumberjack Man?
Normally, I wouldn't even attempt to watch this. I've said many times I'm a big fan of 80s horror movies. I own almost all of them in some form or another. But I don't tend to like other slasher fans slasher movies. I don't want to see anyone's love letter to this shit. I feel the era has passed for the most part.
Yeah.
Of course, Adam Green comes out in 2005 or 2006 with Hatchet. I kind of like the first one. I don't like the sequels. This kind of fits into that Hatchet mold where the movie is mostly comedy. It's mostly slapstick. There's really no scares or suspense. It's not that kind of slasher movie, but when it comes to the kills, it tries to deliver some gory, over the top, absurdly violent moments with a big hulking villain. If you like Hatchet and you like the sequels, you'll probably enjoy Lumberjack Man. I think it was competently shot and edited. There are some really nice shots that they took time with. Again, I enjoyed seeing Michael Madsen having a lot of fun. I don't think he embarrassed himself. I don't think I think he's embarrassed himself in a lot of these other low budget movies where he's playing serious characters more than he did here. He was just having a good time, and I appreciated that. I appreciated the subtle references that I caught. Like I said, Friday 13th Part 5, the burning. Kill Bill had that shot, Halloween 6. There were things I thought that were deliberately shot compositions to remind you of other slasher movies, which you would see in something like this because they love to wear their fandom on their sleeve. It's got a very lighthearted tone, which I appreciated with the comedy. I didn't like a lot of the half-baked ideas. The church camp, for one. I don't feel they went full hog with the church camp. I don't know why they chose to do a church camp other than it's like, hey, church camps are funny, especially since that Jesus camp documentary. They didn't go far enough with it. You could have done some real satire with this instead of the goofy religious thing. And then, the religious character yells something like Jesus fucking Christ. I mean, we saw that coming a mile away. I just feel they didn't go all the way with it. They didn't go all the way with the family connection. Again, we could have had more with faith and all that there. I feel you should have picked one or the other, actually. I think, and you would, instead of both. And again, I didn't really like the design of Lumberjack Man. I feel like a slasher villain, unless it's one of these mystery ones. If it's a slasher villain you see throughout the movie, he should have an iconic look, something I could quickly draw, something I could quickly describe. I couldn't describe Lumberjack Man easily. Yeah, his face looks like bark. He's got glowing red plastic eyes, long hair. I didn't think his design was all that great. There wasn't enough personality from him, except for those few moments. The movie is too long. I had tonal issues because the kill scenes would turn violent and serious with the music and everything, and then back to goofy absurdism. I feel the kill scenes should have been more comedic on top of being gory and keep that through line. But overall, though, I gave it a soft benevolent. I gave it a kind of benevolent. It's not something I'd probably visit again, but I would watch if this director makes another movie that's not a slasher movie, that's not obviously a genre mashup type of thing. I'd be interested in seeing what he does next. There were enough flourishes here, enough little bits here, enough little winks and nods that I was on board enough with the movie to give it a soft benevolent, and I would look into this director future work from him. So Tyler.
I feel like I have changed. Something is off with me. I'm not aligned with my boys.
No.
My equilibrium is all in flux.
Don't worry, we're all going to be fucked up next month with these picks. Good Lord.
Reboot for all of us.
Oh.
I was soft malevolent before reviewing with you guys. You almost had me, but I can't get over how frustrated I am with that ending. It is so long. I have to go soft malevolent. It's not even as a punishment to them. It's just that's how important that is. Like, you have a good movie in here, like as far as like the schlocky, goofy, dumb stuff. You stop holding on shots, get to the next thing, and this could probably still be 90 minutes. Like, it would have been perfectly fine. And like, it's one thing, like, so I think I didn't go very high on the charm on this one, because I kind of felt like, well, it's just, it's schlocky and silly, and I felt like they were having more fun than I was. That I think I would change. I think I would put a little bit more into that, because a lot of the points you guys were making about, Mike was having a good time. It looked like he was having fun with them. They were excited to have him. It didn't look like anybody was trying to be harmful to anyone. So it's like, I think I might have judged that part a little bit harshly, but I'm going to hold on the soft malevolent. I wish that they knew what they had. Like Ryan said, plenty of things they could have done better with the writing of it. Like, I was super impressed with the production design. I don't know if this thing had $100,000 or $1 million, but I believe that they were at a camp. I believe they were in the woods. There was enough of the good church faith, whatever paraphernalia. They got the bus. They didn't, and they had plenty of money for the digital effects that were good enough. Most of it passed, except for some of the blood stuff. So it's like they clearly cared, and so I appreciate that. It's just at the end of the day, I think I was just so frustrated by that, because I say this a lot, but I'm not joking. It does give me anxiety, like legitimately, where it's like, I got to get out of here. Don't go back in the cabin. Oh, please. And it just, it affects me on such a visceral level that it really is problematic, which is why, like, so I've done some thinking on Skinned Deep, and I'm like, I really, like, am I a bad man? Am I an evil man for not liking that movie? And then I went even further, because I'm a huge fan of Rabid Grannies. It's not that much different from Rabid Grannies, and I think that the only thing that's really different is that with Skin Deep, you just have it's crazy psycho family, and they're just killing people, and that's it. And with Rabid Grannies, there is technically a story going on there with the food they're being fed and the evil in the house and all that stuff. And I'm like, is it really that paper thin? Is that really all I need? is it really just the pacing and editing of this movie? And I think it is. So I've learned something about myself. I'm growing, I'm changing, I've got hair in weird places, and it's on the back of my eyes. You know, I got to go to an optometrist. But, you know, I as much as like I loathe coming to these things because I don't want to say that I differ from you guys, because I saw some of the ratings coming in. And my rating wasn't that far off overall. It was just the malevolent to benevolent thing. So anyway, it's long review short. I had a good time with it. It's totally worth watching. It's just, if you're one of those people that's like, you really need something like every 2 to 5 minutes to be happening, you know, there's going to be a couple points in this movie where it kind of dips and you're just going to have to ride that syrupy wave. But Nick, you know, I'm very interested in knowing, we haven't had you for most of this ride so far. You're back. How are you?
I'm okay. And, you know, I watched Lumberjack Man, and after watching Lumberjack Man, I was still okay.
Okay.
And, you know, I'm glad to be here. I'm glad, you know, that I can spend all of my free time watching Lumberjack Man.
How many times do you think you had to watch Lumberjack Man?
Oh, just 1.25.
Yeah.
That was enough. That was plenty. So I feel like with any movie like this, it's a hard sell because you're just leaning on these tropes that are almost 40 years old now. Everything has been done to death. You've seen this before. It's a very fine line doing something like this where you're not just leaning on the tropes for the sake of doing it. We all know what they are without even having seen a slasher movie before.
Mhm.
But dipping a toe into the parody pool, I guess, of the spoof, which is more what this is.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to take the slasher as a serious threat. You don't have to. It's goofy. His whole shtick is fucking something fucking stupid and absurd, and that is what you need if you're gonna do something like this. That's kind of why I feel like movies like this, like Doll Factory, kind of work. I mean, as much as I cringe anytime anyone tries to do horror comedy, for the most part, it's still a good time, even when they fuck up, especially when they fuck up. That being said, you know, I'm okay with the horror aspect of it, and you know, the tropes and everything. It's a bit of a slog. It's a bit much. You don't need this much. You're being overfed. And not even like the good stuff. You're eating like
You're eating
kale.
the batter, not the cake.
Yeah.
You're in dollar store pancakes.
Yeah, it's
no JT Jepson.
If you can get past that, if you've got the right crowd for goofing, then this is the perfect thing. There's plenty of time to get up and get some snacks. Let's say that. So I'm gonna go pretty benevolent here. It's a change of pace from a lot of crap that we generally have to watch on this program. So yeah, I'm gonna say pretty benevolent here.
All right. Well, there you go. Another split decision from the Malevolent Movies crew.
Oh, that's more of a, you know, I'm on my own here, guys. I'm on the island.
Get the fuck out.
Yeah. I'm
trapped.
trapped in the syrup.
I think we're all going to miss Lumberjack Man. We're going to miss Skin Deep. We're going to miss Aquanoids and Cheerleader Camp.
Screaming the Mummy, Uninvited.
We're going to miss all of that next month as we enter the third and final month of the Fight for Summer Fright, where we have to deliberately find stuff that we don't think any of us are going to enjoy. So
now,
it can't be so bad it's good. It's got to be just straight fucking bad.
Gentlemen, I have to drop the creator hammer here.
Oh no.
Okay.
He's flexing.
I have had some questions about August. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Now I'm going to go through the point spread here real quick and point out what could be considered a fatal flaw in some ways, but is retroactively been patched, you fucking hackers. All right. So, like pretty much everything through the eternity of Malevolent movies, there's going to be our big, I think it's like 7 categories. It's the standard stock script, acting, production design, post-production, competency, charm, and rewatchability. That is 1, 2, that's 7 of them. Okay.
Yeah.
So they're each worth 10 points, as always. There's the malevolent to benevolent bonus. You can go down to -5 points, all the way up to 5 points. Now, here's the special, the categories about August. The genre. Did you guys hit your genres? Gastronaut Camp is first, and they have fantasy, followed by Camp Two Hands, which is sci-fi. And bringing up that big old rear is Camp Cardiff Giant with action. Okay?
Yeah.
So if you, how much did we dip our toes in that genre? Because you could do like a mix-up. You could have like a horror, sci-fi,
Sure.
thriller, whatever. But you really want to try and nail that genre. 10 points for false advertising. So this is supposed to be a really bad movie. And so what the false advertising means is anything that these people used when they were marketing this thing. What were people saying about this thing that was clearly just the writer-director writing the comment on, Amazon Prime? What were they trying to sell you that wasn't true? That could be the cover art is nothing like in the film. They should have lied to you to make you watch this piece of doo-doo.
It's like a really kick-ass trailer.
Yes.
And when you watch the movie, you're like,
perfect
Jesus,
example.
that barely covered how bad this was.
Yes.
Yeah.
10 points for rage reviews. So the point is, and I can't remember what I said in the announcement video, if it's supposed to be you pick 3 or you pick 5, I'll look back on that. But I would say let's just pick 5. You pick 5 reviews, you bring them and you read them after we're done reviewing your movie. So let us know what your favorite 5 reviews are. They could be a single word. It could just be dump, or it could be an entire monologue. Just bring the top 5 best ones. 10 points for cult cameos. Who's in this sucker? Is it a classic stock like Eric Roberts? Do you have like an actual name actor? Like is Kenneth Branagh showing up for some minute? Or for some minute for some reason? Or is it like somebody weird? Like, is it like a YouTube personality?
Did you get Mickey Rooney for your horny camp movie?
Perfect. Now here's the rub. All right.
Oh,
now
no.
everything is upside down. Okay. So if the script is really, really bad, like painfully bad, that's 10 points. If it's kind of bad, but good, you're going to start going down, heading towards 5, 3, 2, 1. Okay. It's the anti-malevolent movie spirit. How much is this unlike the shit we normally watch and enjoy? This is not like Witch's Brew. This is not like Doll Factory, okay? This hurts. That's 25 points. Now, here's the issue.
It's more like Eye Murders.
10 points for Summer Spirit. Now, you say, what's wrong with that? We've done 10 points for Summer Spirit for all 3 categories, all 3 months. I've had a couple people asking me, well, I could sacrifice 10 points here to find the best genre movie that stinks like doo-doo. Well, here's where I'm getting you, sons of bees. If you do not get a movie that is set in summer or spring break, you not only can you not qualify for the 10 points from the 5 raters of your movie, you lose another 50 points on top of that. So you lose out on 100 points.
Good.
So that's the challenge. You got to find something. And hey, if they just say, what a wacky summer at the end of the movie, that's fine. It counts. You're still going to get.
Like
you're going to lose points probably through the people's ratings, but at least you're not trying to squeak your way out of this one. Because I'm sure that there's a really great sci-fi movie that's just fucking terrible, but it's not set in summer or spring
it's
break.
at Christmas time. They have a Christmas party.
It's the anti-lucky stiff.
Oh boy.
So we'll save that one for Festicool. So anyways, you've got to hit it. If you don't, you're basically losing 100 points right out. And that's a margin you can't come back from. I just don't think you can. Yeah. At some point, I do think that we should have a challenge that's strictly everything's off the table. What's the most painful stuff we can get each other to watch?
Yes, I kind of like that.
Yeah. So, but hey.
And I also like that we're switching up genres.
Yeah.
Because I've kind of wanted to breach the idea of that malevolent movies could break out of just horror. Because there's so much shit out there that
there's a lot of bad movies,
like family movies, holiday movies.
I mean, look at Eye Murders.
Yeah,
that is not a horror movie, and we had a fucking blast with
that. Was that false advertising? They got us with that bloody mouse.
Eye Murders was so perfect.
Eye Murders is kind of my template for
this,
where it's just we might have a good time talking about it, but the movie was just fun. It was such a,
that's
it
the
sucked.
goal.
It wasn't fun. So that's kind of the template mentally I'm using.
Please don't prove us wrong, Sean. He said that he would be joining us for August, so we'll see.
Okay.
So Nick and Joe, don't let us down. Find something really bad that makes Sean regret coming back.
Oh yeah.
Got it.
We gotta scare him
Well,
away.
Are we, the order is Carter Giant third?
You're
or not?
last.
You're
Second.
last.
Okay. I mean, I think I already have a title. I got to run it by Sean, but I think I have something that. Oof.
Joe, fart us out.
Yeah, let's get out of here, Joe. Fart us.
Yeah, you still there, Joe?
That's his corpse. Just letting out the last
Death
air.
rattle.
Most death rattles come from the chest. Joe's is going to come from the sphincter.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Oh wait, I played an ad. Okay, here we go.
Oh jeez. All right.
Stop
Good night,
killing
folks.
comedy, boy.
Hey.
Okay. Jesus. God. Go wipe your butt, Joe.
Yeah.
That wasn't me. That was the soundboard.
I get this boy a bidet. I stopped recording. I like the little one.
It's another goddamn ad.